welcome to the Meadowlands. We're in sold-out Giant Stadium for today's game between the Detroit Lions and the New York Giants. It rained here yesterday on and off for 24 hours, and right now it's muggy, very humid, but there is no rain. And good afternoon, I'm Tim Brandt. The Detroit Lions are trying to restore the roar, and they're well aware of the fact they haven't been to the playoffs since 1983. As a matter of fact, they haven't been dominant since Dwight Eisenhower was president. But now with new players, a new coach, new hope, and they have the Heisman Trophy winner in Barry Sanders. And as we turn to Dan Jiggetts, Dan, I want to ask you if Barry Sanders fits into this passing offense.
He absolutely does. Wayne Fontes told us the other day, now this is truly going to be a run-and-shoot offense. The thing that Barry Sanders gives this team, I think, the Lions, is the fact that every time he touches the ball, he has the possibility of taking it the distance.
Now, the New York Giants have had a short work week, a very emotional win over Washington Monday night. Does that affect this game?
Everybody talks about how difficult it is to win after a Monday night game, but the Giants know that within their own division, there's a great deal of competition. And this game is really going to get down to something very simple. It's what Bill Parcells told us the other day. They want to make Detroit run when they want to pass and pass when they want to run.
All right, Dan, you have to go all the way back to September of 1986 since the Lions have beaten a team which ended the season with a winning record. The last win was against the Vikings. But how about the Giants? They haven't started a season with 2 consecutive wins since 1969, and we're underway. A leg raise kick goes through the end zone, and Mel Gray will not attempt to return it. So a look at Bob Galliano, the quarterback, who will operate the silver stretch or run and shoot. This is only his second NFL start other than strike games. Take a look at the rest of the offense. Up front, it's Brown, Andulsek, Kevin Glover out of the University of Maryland, Mike Utley, and Harvey Salem. In the backfield, keep an eye on these guys. The wideouts are X and Y. The other 2 guys, W and Z, are inside. They're the short guys, and the SB stands for superback, Barry Sanders.
And Tony Page will be in when they go to the 2-back set.
So they start with 4 wideouts. They don't have a tight end on the roster. Detroit doesn't. First down, and this is Sanders. Absolutely nothing. A rude welcome to the NFL. Take a look at that defense for the Giants. Up front, it's Eric Dorsey, Eric Howard, and the longtime veteran Leonard Marshall. The linebackers, extremely active. Carl Banks, and they're hoping he returns to that fine season he had in '86. Diassi and Cooks in the middle, and the great one, Lawrence Taylor. In the secondary, Collins, Williams, Kennard, and Guyton. Thompson and White come in obvious passing downs, and they struggled a little bit against Washington, gave up a lot of yardage. Sanders again is the lone setback. Second down and a long 9. Galliano's first pass cuts it up to the 24-yard line when he pulled it down. Good coverage that time by the Giants.
Now, typically what happens in this offense, in this run and shoot or silver stretch offense, is what the quarterback wants to see is he wants to see his receiver declare right now when he drops back to pass where he's going to run his route. That time, Galliano's looking downfield. The receiver doesn't declare a route. He simply just keeps running down the field, and he can't get the ball to him, so he had to eat it on that play.
Dan, one of the interesting things we'll look for is how the Lions block Lawrence Taylor without a tight end.
I think what they'll probably try to do is keep him busy with some motion.
Taylor is at the top of your screen. Second man in. 3rd and 5. And the Lions are going to be short. Stacy Mobley's not going to get the distance for the first. The tackle was made by Lawrence Taylor.
I talked about the motion keeping LT busy. That normally in that kind of an obvious passing situation, you expect LT to be coming. But you see now he's got to stay out with those wide receivers. Those receivers in that motion are going to keep him busy on the corner and quite possibly prevent him from blitzing as much as he'd like to.
Jim Arnold is your punter. An all-pro, 5 punts last week, averaged 49 yards. He can boom it. And Dave Meggett, the rookie, is deep for the Giants. He's standing at his own 21. He had a big game Monday night. High snap. Arnold handles it. It's a high tail wagger. Meggett will field it at the 26-yard line. And he slips down at the 28. So a 44-yard punt and a 2-yard return as you look at Phil Simms, and he is the key to the Giants offense. Take a look at the rest of the offense because it is a little bit rebuilt. Jumbo Elliott, William Roberts, Bart Oates, still mans the center. Johnson and Riesenberg, and the tight end may be the best in the game, Mark Pavaro. Anderson, Carthen are the setbacks. Odessa Turner, Lionel Manuel out wide, and Ingram and Meggett come in and passing downs. Sims to throw on first down. They're looking for the screen, and he throws it away. There's a flag up at the 32-yard line.
And many times what you run into in that situation, an obvious screen situation, is the fact that one of your linemen may have gone downfield.
And it is against the Giants. The referee today, Johnny Greer. Art Demas is the umpire. Paul Widener is the head linesman. Bill Reynolds, the line judge.
Sometimes these rules get so complicated when the officials are explaining them to the players. They have to take a little bit more time.
Ineligible receivers downfield. Speed clock. Number 66. Second down.
The defensive front, Williams, Ball, and Kevin Brooks sitting in today for Keith Ferguson, who's injured. Williams, Spielman, Jones, and RoboCop Michael Kofer are the linebackers. Taylor, Holmes, White, and Blades. Benny Blades in the secondary, and McNorton comes in as a nickel back along with Griffin. This is Anderson. And he gets back to the 28-yard line. Kofer makes the tackle there.
You'd expect this Giant offense to come out with a little bit more on the run variety early on, and that screen pass at the beginning surprised me, quite honestly. I felt that they would start off with their running game and trying to establish that early on.
Moat and Anderson go out of the ball game now for New York, and into the game come Stephen Baker and David Meggett on third down and call it 11. Lions go to their dime secondary, 5 defensive backs. Sims out of the shotgun, has the completion and the first down. Odessa Turner with his first catch of the day. He had 3 for 99 yards Monday night. A gain of 14.
Odessa was out on the far side. Now watch him creep back across your screen here. Number 83 is going to come from the left part of your screen, creep underneath the coverage, and just kind of nestle himself down there between the defenders and then make a nice reception. See, the idea is they want to try to run everybody off, get those defenders backing up, and then Odessa comes right up underneath.
The tackle was made by William White. First down, this is Anderson. He may have lost a yard. Jerry Ball, the nose tackle, clogged things up, and he's as good as you get in this league.
A chance to talk with Bart Oates before the game and asked him about Jerry Ball, and after comments by Randy Cross, who's now with us at CBS, he said that Jerry Ball is one of the best nose tackles he's seen outside of Michael Carter, and Bart agreed with him. He said, absolutely, I put him right up there with the best of those guys.
Of course, he went up against Carter every day at practice. Anderson and Carthen are the setbacks. It'll be second down and 10 for Sims. Carthen, big hole. First down, Giants.
Ken, did you see the block by Bart Oates, though? That was the key to the play. Bart Oates did a great job on Jerry Ball, let him pick a side, turned him away, and all of a sudden, the back comes right up the other side. Now watch it right in the middle of your screen. Watch the center play. 93 is Ball. He gets pushed back out of the way by Bart Oates. O.J. makes a nice little cut in there and just gets downfield. Maurice Carthen. Nice little run, seeing the field, seeing where the block is made and getting around it.
A lot of folks forget that Carthen is an outstanding runner. When he was here with the Generals in this stadium, ran for over 1,000 yards the year that Herschel Walker was hurt. First down and 10 at the 46 Giants. Sims with plenty of time, intended for Anderson, and he just missed it, went right through his hands.
O.J. took a look downfield just before the ball got there. He wanted to see where the running room was.
Talking with O.J. the other day, he's very sensitive about his age, isn't he?
Yes, he is. You know, he doesn't want to be thought of as an old back. He feels that, you know, he's had about 3 or 4 years where he didn't really carry the football a great deal, and that's going to add on to the back end of his career.
He gained 93 yards Monday against Washington. And Parcells said that used to be a bad day for you. Don't brag. Second down. This is Carthen again. Gains about 5. Eric Williams made the tackle.
Now to go back to something else you were saying on that play, O.J. Anderson leads the play up inside for Maurice, delivers a very nice block in the line of scrimmage that enables Maurice to get downfield. That's the things that these older backs will give you. You know, there's something to be said for older players, and certainly O.J. Anderson is one of those guys who's moving up to the top part of his career, but is still getting it done.
We don't want you to think that Anderson is a geriatric. He's 31 years old, but he is the second oldest running back in the league. Look at new head coach Wayne Fonts. 3rd down and 5 for the Giants. It's going to be close to a 1st down. Mark Ingram makes the catch.
And
depending on where the mark is, he wants it at the 35. It will be a 1st.
He did the smart thing. He went and got the 1st down yardage. He stopped it a little bit further than 1st down yardage to make the reception, and then he got bumped back. Now, Benny Blades, the strong safety, is another guy who's very active on the blitz, and he kind of greets Phil Simms here with an NFL good morning.
They call him
or good
B-Rock.
afternoon. B-Rock or Batman.
Said he just doesn't want to tackle him. He wants to rock him. Anderson on 1st down, looks for a hole, breaks outside, 2 tackles, and picks up a tough 2 yards. Jerry Ball slid out to trip him up out there and got some help from the linebackers.
One of the things you will see from that Detroit defensive line is guys like Jerry Ball will stay active and slide up and down along the line of scrimmage, giving their linebackers as well a chance to make the stop, but also keeping active and trying to chase everybody to the sideline.
An impressive opening drive by the New York Giants. 7 minutes, 50 seconds remain in the 1st quarter. Tim Brandt and Dan Jiggets with you at the Meadowlands. Manuel goes to the top of the screen. Odessa Turner to the bottom. The lone setback is Anderson on 2nd down and 8. Anderson out to the 31-yard line, and Kevin Brooks makes the tackle. Kevin Brooks is a newly added addition to the Lions roster. He's a 4th-year veteran out of Michigan. Started at left tackle in Dallas, took over for John Dutton down there.
Yeah, he told me that now he's playing outside at end. He says it's a real adjustment for him from playing the down tackle position. Now all of a sudden he's out there on an island because he doesn't have a defensive tackle alongside him and a defensive end. He's out there kind of on that island by himself.
That's one of the problems of the Lions right now. They have so many new players. Everything's just coming together. Everyone's still learning. 3rd down and 6 for the Giants. Simms looks right, now checks off and comes back. It's almost intercepted. James Griffin had a shot at it, and it went right through his hands.
I'll tell you what, Phil Simms took a real shot, too, after he let the football go. He'll be thinking about that one for a little while, but it was a little bit late. Curtis Green was in there late and gave him a shot.
Boy, Griffin walks off shaking his head. He knows he had a shot at an interception and didn't get it. So Raul Alegre comes on. He missed from 42 yards Monday night, but hit from 32 and the game winner from 52. This one will be a 49-yarder. Good snap, good hold. And the kick is good. So Raul Alegre is off to a quick start in 89 and puts the Giants on the board 3-0.
Talked to Raul before the game, and I asked him, I said, what did your guys say to you before you kicked that field goal to win the game on Monday night? And he says, nothing. I said, well, what did they say to you afterwards? He goes, oh, well, then it went kind of wild. As you can see, he's a young man that gets kind of excited about his job. You know, you talk to those kickers, and you wonder where they kick the football. They actually kick the football with the instep of their foot, and they come and side-swipe it with their foot. It's not one with the conventional kickers off the toe. It's a really different thing, and they work the knee action a great deal as well.
Thought it was interesting sitting in the stadium the other day watching the Giants practice. Alegre goes out of the stadium, practices on his own. They call him, send a runner out, bring him back for the end of practice to get the kicking part in.
He's probably watching the soaps.
He just says he's out there kicking. Alegre will kick off, and Mel Gray, standing at his own end zone, his own goal line, will be the return man. Instead, it's Paul Palmer. Across the 15 to the 18-yard line, and Palmer is another addition. Came from Kansas City. Tackle was made by Renee Thompson.
The numbers speak for themselves. Detroit's offense had a tough time last year. When we talked to June Jones, who's now coaching the quarterbacks and receivers for Detroit, said last week we had 258 yards in total offense. Thought that was a bad day, and then we looked back at last year and we figured out it was pretty good actually.
All the skill players are gone. These guys are gone. And now it's all new folks. They're trying to get new speed, new talent, rejuvenate things. There is new hope. 3-0 Giants. Galliano has this one complete. And Mobley carries it out to the 35-yard line. Tackle was made there by Terry Kennard.
This is where this offense gets dangerous, when the timing starts working between receiver and quarterback, and they're both reading the same kinds of coverage. Then the quarterback understands where that receiver is going to break off. He's got about 3 or 4 choices on each route.
A gain of 16. It'll be first down for Detroit. Look at Galliano. Now, he started 3 NFL games, but you only count last week and this week.
Those are the real NFL games, not the replacement games.
All right, replacement strike games don't count. First down and 10. Mobley in motion. Galliano has another completion, and Johnson runs out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Right now, let's go back to New York to Brent Musburger. And you guys have talked all day about how important that game is to Washington.
I'll tell you what, every time Randall Cunningham is on the field, I always say sprinkles a little magic out there, and somehow or another they pull a game out.
Second down and 3 for the Lions. They trail by a field goal. This is Barry Sanders. And he maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. It looks like he lost yardage. Steve Diassi came through, grabbed his leg, and pulled him down.
Great defensive play by Steve Diassi, and you have to believe that maybe what the Giants are doing as compared to what the Cardinals did last week. Cardinals went with only 1 linebacker and about 6 or 7 defensive backs. The Giants are keeping their regular people in pretty much. That includes the linebackers inside, Cooks and Diassi. And maybe they're just spying and staying with that running back Sanders all the way, one-on-one. So if he comes out to your side, you got him.
No question, he's the key for the Giants. They're counting folks to see what the situation is and where they're going to try to go with the football. This is 3rd down and 4. Galliano's got backside pressure, throws the completion to Richard Johnson, and he's got another first down.
Carl Banks came across the line of scrimmage a little early, I think, on that play.
There is a flag. Tackle was made by Taylor and Williams. 5 minutes, 2 seconds remain first period. Tim Brandt and Dan Jiggets. The Giants were awfully impressive this past Monday night. Here's the call.
Offside. 58 defense. It's declined.
That's Carl Banks.
Carl Banks is trying to time this thing out and come across the line of scrimmage just as the ball snapped. As you can see, he left about a second early, trying to get to Bob Galliano.
So it'll be first down at the 48 for the Lions. Wide receivers, no tight end for Galliano. Now he's going to be flushed out of the pocket across midfield into Giant territory, and he slides down close to another first down. Steve Diassi touches him there.
I tell you what,
it is a first.
Sometimes you really feel for the nose tackles. Now Eric Howard is going to try to rush, watching right in the middle of the offense. Eric Howard tries to beat the center Glover there, and now he gets a good move on him. And now the guard comes up and hits him, and then later on Barry Sanders comes in and gets a shot on him as well. You guys got to say, hey, look, let me get back to the quarterback and at least see what he looks like.
A gain of 11, so it is another Detroit first down.
Those guys don't have an easy job. They should get double pay.
Eric Howard, 6'4", 268 pounds out of Washington State. Galliano to Mobley. Mobley put a move on White. White slipped down, but then he's run out of bounds near the 35 by Mark Collins.
You know, I was looking at that turf earlier today. It rained the last day or so, and the turf is very slick. And talking with the offensive linemen, the Giants, they said that this field gets slippery in certain directions. So when you're coming to one sideline or the other, because of the way they clean the turf, you'll sometimes slide in that direction.
Which direction is it?
Well, in this case, I think it's to our direction now. When they had the old turf on here last year, it was the other way around.
Galliano now 5 for 5, 39 yards. Second down, call it 6 from the 36. Pressure's coming from the outside. Galliano steps up, throws deep. In the direction of Robert Clark, but broken up nicely by Collins. Oh, what a fine defensive play by Collins, and Kennard was there to help him.
Terry Kennard can't believe this time he was just a step too early. Had it been a step later, he'd have had the interception. Nice one-on-one coverage here by Collins, getting up in his face. Doesn't really put his hands on the receiver, lets him run downfield, but he's got that great position. Now you saw a little bump there, incidental contact. But Kennard, if he had been a step later, would have had the interception after Collins tipped the ball.
Mouse Davis told us if the defensive backs come up, they pressure you, they show man, they're going deep. Third down and 6 for Detroit. Galliano drills it across the middle, but broken up nicely. Oh, did White have a fine defensive play there.
It appears what the Giants secondary is doing is when those receivers come into the middle of the field, they're locking on with 2 guys and trying to play them right across the middle. And that time, Sheldon White just reached in, slapped the ball away. Nice defensive play.
White got an interception last week against the Redskins. Made a dandy of a defensive play right there. So it brings up 4th down and 6, and Jim Arnold comes on to punt.
Now the Lions will probably take the delay of game penalty here, maybe to give Arnold a little bit more room to kick, because this guy punts on a regular basis around 55 yards.
No question he'll try to pooch this one. The deep back for the Giants is David Meggett. And there's your delay of game.
Offense. Still 4th down.
Good call, Coach.
That comes from playing all those special teams. Of course, there are a couple other things that go with that. Some broken bones. You see Frank Gant, speaking of special teams, is standing alongside Wayne Fonts. And now he's got his back turned to you. He is a special teams master. When he was at Kansas City, he would coach the special teams himself, even though he was a head coach. Of course, that's what he's known for in the NFL.
Jim Arnold, the punter, was a Pro Bowler in 1987, 1988, and he can boom it. But I assume he'll be going for a corner here. Sanders is the center. Good snap. Arnold gets a high wobbler. Meggett will let it go. It's going to hit at the 1 and go into the end zone for a touchback. So they'll bring it out to the 20 after a 36-yard punt, no return.
A little mix-up down here. Some of the fellas on special teams trying to get a little extra action in. Want to work up a sweat.
Number 34 was James Griffin, as you see Phil Simms come back onto the field. He had an impressive drive in the first series, which led to a field goal. Allegre with a 49-yarder put the Giants up 3-0. Right now, there's 3 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the first period. 2 tight ends on first down for the Giants. This is O.J. Anderson with a great cutback across the 25 and drags tacklers out to the 28-yard line. William White finally made the stop there.
Now see, one of the differences between the 2 defenses of the Giants and the Lions is backside pursuit. This time O.J. bends the play back. He's going to try to head in left, now bend it back. The linebacker in the backside does not pursue in time enough. Jimmy Williams, number 59, to hook up and tackle O.J. in the backfield. Instead, O.J. gets about 6 or 7 yards on the play.
It'll bring up 2nd down and 1. And again, there's 2 tight ends, Mowat in motion. Anderson first down out to the 35-yard line.
William Roberts, number 66, got a great block on number 57, Victor Jones. Pushed him about 6 or 7 yards off the line of scrimmage, and that's what allowed the play to be successful.
Victor Jones wasn't expected to start today. Dennis Gibson with a shoulder injury is not in the ball game, so Jones, a second-year veteran out of Virginia Tech, got the nod.
Well, I tell you what, Roberts was painted on him on the play.
Painted on him, huh? First down again, it's Anderson. Bounces outside to the 44-yard line. Benny Blades tripped him up. He'll be 2 yards shy of a first.
Talked about backside pursuit. Again, O.J. Anderson breaks the ball back to the backside of the Lions defense. Watch him start out to his left, now break it back over to the right. See, he punches it up in there, can't get anything there, turns around. No backside linebacker support on the play. They're overrunning the play or getting blocked out of it.
Benny Blades said this is a Pro Bowl game maker. In New York, he wants to have the game of his life, and he's playing banged up. He's got a bruised collarbone, sore shoulder. 2nd down and 2, they're going deep. This is to Turner. Incomplete. Fine coverage by Terry Taylor, who was acquired from Seattle.
You want to know what made that play almost successful, though? Phil Simms, veteran quarterback, great play action on the play. The defense is suddenly sucked up into they're thinking it's a run play, and then right away he lets it go downfield. Terry Taylor has nice coverage on the play, though. He was not fooled by the play action. He stays with Odessa Turner. Everybody else, all the linebackers, defensive line, thought it was a run right away.
Taylor is a man-to-man specialist.
Bump and run is his business. Philadelphia over Washington. 56 seconds left in the ball game.
Ball's loose. Simms left it on the ground. We'll see who got it. Giants got it back.
It appeared as he was fumbling as he was pulling out. So he never really had a grip on the ball. Let's get another look at it inside. Ball snapped cleanly, but he just doesn't get it. As he's pulling out, he drags the ball along Brad Oates' leg. More saying Bart Oates because I remember his brother played center as well.
Both USFL guys.
That's right.
Sean Landeta comes on to punt for the Giants. Mel Gray is deep for the Detroit Lions. Gray almost broke 2 last week against Phoenix. Landeta gets off a high punt. It's a wobbler. Gray calls for the fair catch at the 19. And that's where the Lions will take over offensively. We had an interesting conversation with Lawrence Taylor yesterday.
He told us the reason why he got the leg cramps and whatnot in the Monday night game was the fact that he went 37 hours without eating. And the reason why, he says, he gets nervous when he goes down to Washington to play.
Because he knows they're going to throw a lot of different things at him.
Oh, absolutely. You know that they got to focus in on him. But the thing that they did is they gave him some glucose and some fluids and got him ready at the half, and he came back out and had a nice second half as well.
Lawrence Taylor, a 9-year veteran. Now, the interesting thing he told us, he may only play another 2 years.
Yeah, he says that's kind of the limit that he's looking at, but he'll take a look at things after he gets past those 2.
That's a big news item if that's true. 1st down and 10, just inside the 20 for the Lions. Galliano to Sanders. Barry Sanders with a big hole and a block on the corner, and he has a 1st down for the Lions. Mark Collins runs him out of bounds.
Nice little option play there. Barry Sanders hit the corner and said, oh, this looks like Oklahoma State here. I'm just going to take off. A lot of green in front of me. Another thing about this offense that what it does is it can take advantage of blitzes, and that time the Giants were blitzing up inside. They simply came outside with a little pitch play, and right away you're running away from that whole blitz.
That's impressive, and what's even more impressive about those numbers is the fact that he only played in the 2nd half.
And he only knew 4 plays. He used them to his advantage, I guess.
He's got the most expensive barber probably in America. A millionaire barber. He cuts his own hair. Galliano on 1st down. This one out to Johnson, and they're going to call it incomplete.
The ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, or at least it appeared to be tipped at the line of scrimmage. Marshall, one of the 2 that tipped the ball just as Bob Galliano unloaded it. LT stays active on that corner. He's going to be a policeman a little bit along that line of scrimmage now with all this activity. He's trying to rush on this play against Lomas Brown and gets into Lomas now, just reaches up and slaps that ball away. He and Leonard Marshall, but it's LT that actually got it. He can get up in the air a little bit higher than Leonard.
2nd down and 10 at the 31-yard line for the Lions. They trail by 3. Galliano gets a good block from Sanders. Now he's in a whole lot of trouble, and he's sacked by Carl Banks and Lawrence Taylor.
Hey, LT and Carl Banks simply came in, ran over a couple of people. Carl Banks ran over Barry Sanders. LT runs over his man. Now, he just simply runs past Lomas Brown, pushes him right back into the quarterback, and all of a sudden Bob Galliano gets flushed, and then Carl Banks comes in, runs over Barry Sanders, and helps out on the sack.
The sack is credited to Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, but you got to at least give Carl Banks a half on that.
Oh, I did. What do they call a half a sack? A baggie? 3rd and 19. Galliano to Johnson. Johnson gets the first down for Detroit. That's a big play for the Lions. Terry Kennard trips him up.
They caught the Giants in that zone. You saw Steve DiAsi, number 99, trying to back out of there and get to his area, but the receiver beats him to the area, and that means the pass beats him there as well. That's
what's interesting about this stretch is the fact that they needed 19, they get 21, and that'll end the first quarter. So at the end of one, it's the Giants 3 and the Lions nothing. Right now, let's go back to New York. Here's Brent Mustard. Gerald Riggs had 2 fumbles last week that were critical against the Giants, both inside the 20.
You have to think, a guy's never known for fumbling. Suddenly it's on his mind. Does it start happening more now?
He's got to be thinking about it. One thing that makes Joe Gibbs probably angrier than anything else is the fact that a running back can put it on the ground.
This guy, LT, will help you put it on the ground, too, in a hurry.
He caused one last week. Also got a sack against the Redskins. Galliano's off to a quick start for the Lions.
Well, I think that the interesting thing about this stretch offense is that these quarterbacks for the Lions aren't really in a true stretch like they used to do in the USFL with Mouse Davis. They're setting up behind the guards and tackles instead of taking it all the way to the corner and putting pressure on the defense and saying, is the quarterback going to run the football or throw the football? Instead, they're setting up still in the backfield. So that's a little bit of an adjustment on the run and shoot, or the silver stretch.
6 for 9. He reads the receivers. You're right. The receivers read the defensive backs, and hopefully they're on the same page, and that'll work. Mouse Davis, the innovator. In the blue shirt with a headset, he's the guy that really has pushed and made this run and shoot successful through the years. He was coaching Lomax at Portland State. They scored 105 points in one game. First down, this is Sanders. Tap dances his way across the 45 to the 47-yard line. So to bring up second down for the Lions. Carl Banks will get credit for the tackle. 3-0 Giants. We want to welcome those of you who have been watching the Philadelphia-Washington game, and it was a wild one. Here, the Giants lead Detroit 3-0 with 14:31 remaining in the first half. Tim Brandt and Dan Jiggets with you. The Lions trail by 3. It's second down and 7 for Detroit. Galliano's the quarterback. Mobley in motion. The Heisman Trophy winner, Barry Sanders, is the setback.
Galliano's checking off now.
He's got problems. Throws to Sanders. Sanders struggles out to the 49, but if he had a broken net tackle, he had a lot of room. It was Steve DiAsi, the linebacker, who made a marvelous play on Sanders.
But once again, Galliano's trying to check off, get away from LT. What he's trying to do is run Barry back and back of LT after LT rushes, but he did not know that Steve DiAsi was going to be personally assigned to the running back when he went out to that side. That's what the Giants did, and as a result, they were fairly successful on the play.
The only scoring thus far, a 49-yard field goal by Raul Alegre of the Giants. Down and 4. Delay a game against Detroit. Galliano didn't get the ball off on time.
Delay. Offense.
I talked to the offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, Mouse Davis, and I asked him how come they were having problems with getting the ball off in the delay of game penalties in the Phoenix game last week. He says it's just a matter of a slight confusion sometimes in relaying the plays in from up here in the booth where June Jones is, down on the field of Mouse Davis to the quarterback in the huddle, and then having him call all of those formations with 4 wideouts. You can imagine the kind of confusion that can cause sometimes. Until everybody gets on the same page, they're going to have those problems.
Mouse Davis refined it and certainly has been the public relations man for the run and shoot, but it was actually Tiger Ellison, a high school coach, who invented the offense. 3rd and 9 for Galliano in the lines. And he bounce passes it to Johnson, incomplete.
He had trouble on the play, but the reason why is Lomas Brown got beat inside. His man got picked up by the guard. He came back around to try to pick him up again, and he got in Bob Galliano's way. He couldn't see downfield to throw the ball cleanly.
So the Lions will have to punt. Jim Arnold comes on to do those duties. Dave Meggett will be deep for the Giants. Boy, what a wild win in Washington, huh?
Oh, I tell you, Philadelphia is unbelievable, though. I picked them to win the NFC East, and I think if they keep pulling the magic out of the hat with Randall Cunningham, it's going to happen.
Redskins 0-2 now in their division, the NFC East. High punt takes Meggett to the 9, and he's going to return it. Great cut inside. Look out. To the 36. A return of 30. Jim Arnold had to make the tackle.
Special teams and a guy like Dave Meggett can make the difference, get some blocking up front, but the most important thing, inside the 10, he still feels the ball, does it cleanly now, gets north and south, gets upfield, gets a couple of blocks picked up there, but Jim Arnold's a good athlete, the punter for the Detroit Lions. He helps make the stop.
12:33 remain in the half. The only scoring thus far in the first half, a 49-yard field goal by Raul Alegre. As you look at Bill Parcells, head coach of the New York Giants. Tim Brandt, Dan Jiggets, and Dan, the Giants have looked rather methodical in their drives and have been fairly successful, although they've rendered only 3 points. And then Detroit's been coming up with a big play.
Both of them have been ball control type offenses, though. Detroit's been doing it with the short passing game. And really, when you look at the Giants, what they've been doing offensively, it's been just running the football.
Sims to throw on first down. As a man, it's Manuel. Into Detroit territory at the 46. Tackle made there by Chris Spielman.
Lionel Manuel just kind of gently nestled down in between the zone, between the linebackers and the defensive backs. Stayed right in there and made the reception right around the hash marks, the college hash marks, that is. You can just barely see them on the field, but he saw where the zone was, saw that Chris Spielman, number 54, couldn't get back out there and just settled down in there.
Gain of 17, had a college game here yesterday. Rutgers beat Boston College with the last-second field goal. Howard cross checks into the ball game for the Giants. This is Anderson. Anderson is met by the entire middle of that Detroit defense, and he gains maybe a yard. Jerry Ball was there first.
He was met by about 900 pounds on the line of scrimmage. Tough way to make a living.
Eric Williams is 286. Jerry Ball right there is 298, or so he says. He may be over 3. And Kevin Brooks is about 280. How about that? Tampa Bay up on San Francisco early. 2nd down and 9 for the Giants. Sims with plenty of time throws underneath to his tight end, and it's complete to Bavaro. A gain of 9. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1. Jimmy Williams made the tackle.
Bill Sims had time to get a manicure back there. That time he got such good protection from his offensive line. Long enough to let the tight end, 89, Mark Bavaro, get tangled up with the linebacker. It still come underneath. You see him crossing the screen now and still get over the other side of the field and make the reception.
That's good defense by Williams. There's not much more he could do.
He's right on him. He's got to get a little bit of help from that far side.
Bavaro had 3 catches Monday night for 48 yards. That's his first catch here this afternoon.
Reverse.
Look at this to Turner. Jerry Holmes runs him out of bounds, so they lose yardage on the play. Nice play by the cornerback, Jerry Holmes.
Hey, Jerry Holmes is here with the Jets. You know, being in the New York metropolitan area, he knows that play. He's probably seen the Giants run it about 50 times. He wasn't going to let Turner get away from it.
So the Giants, after a nice catch by Bavaro, will have to punt it away. Sean Landeta comes on for New York. And again, it's Mel Gray. This time he's standing at his own 10. Landeta with a high spiraling punt. Tries to pooch it to the corner. It'll hit at the 2, but it goes through for the touchback. So a 40-yard punt. Again, there's no return. minutes and 43 seconds remain in the half. The Giants still lead it by just a field goal. The 17th head coach of the Detroit Lions, Wayne Fontes, in his first full year.
Said William Clay Ford came out and saw practice, and Wayne had a 3-year deal already. William Clay Ford came out, saw the practice, saw the reaction of the players, liked it so much, came in, tore the old contract up, and gave Wayne a 5-year deal. That means he's going to settle in. He can make the kinds of changes he needs to make and make this ball club his own and put his signature on it.
He's positive, too. He believes that this is going to be a winning franchise eventually. He just doesn't know how long it will take. First down, Lions at the 20. Galliano's the quarterback. This is Sanders, and he's got some blockers. Out to the 35-yard line after a nifty move. Just blew by Eric Howard. A gain of 15 for Sanders.
Nice little screen off the run and shoot. Obviously, that's something else that Detroit has put in, a new wrinkle they put in for this week. Now, Barry Sanders gives you another dimension, though. He can run that little screen pass on you. Here's LT rushing against Lomas Brown, runs inside and just stays after Barry Sanders all the way downfield. Good speed down there, and finally gets in on the play right at the tail end.
He's amazing. Monday night they canonized him. They started calling him St. Lawrence.
I was asking him about his new hairdo, and he said, well, that's going to keep him young.
First down at the 35 for Detroit. Galliano with backside pressure. And he's sacked for the second time today. Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks.
I mentioned earlier, Tim, that with this run and shoot, what they're trying to do, the Lions are trying to do, is run away from the pressure of the blitzing linebacker. Well, this time they do, because LT gets jammed up with Lomas Brown, but Carl Banks is coming from the backside. And as a result of Detroit not being used to running that run and shoot, taking it all the way to the corner and setting up behind the tackles, he couldn't do it that time. Galliano couldn't, so he just simply gets sacked by Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks.
So again, they split one, which means they have one each. Loss of 6, second and 16.
2 men on a mission. You know those two outside guys are going to be coming full speed every play.
Second and 16. Galliano to Johnson. Still on his feet. Across midfield. Taylor in pursuit. Touchdown Detroit. 71 yards.
Sheldon White looked like he had a shot on the play, and he just simply got outrun on the thing. Sheldon White, number 39, was chasing the receiver downfield and just simply couldn't catch him. Those Smurf receivers can get away from you.
Lawrence Taylor chased him all the way down and had a shot to knock him out of bounds and missed him. Well, how about that? Richard Johnson. He's only played 1 year out of Colorado. He's out of football last year, working for IBM.
Yeah, he was working with computers, and now he's making the computers work for him.
Eddie Murray on to attempt the extra point. That silenced the crowd, huh?
Oh, yeah. Crowd silencer. Touchdown.
Murray's kick is good. And with 8 minutes and 3 seconds still remaining in the half, the Lions have jumped out on top 7-3.
The reason why Detroit was successful in the play, they picked up Sheldon White and Carl Banks coming in on the blitz. Pick both of those guys up. Bob Galliano's got time to set back in his pocket and find a receiver downfield. Johnson, he does that, avoids a tackler and Terry Kennard, and just simply gets away and goes the distance for the touchdown.
It's Johnson's first NFL touchdown, and watch Lawrence Taylor here, 56, tried to knock him out of bounds, missed him, and Johnson scored from 71 yards out. So it's 7-3 Lions as Murray kicks off. Meggett and Ingram are deep for the Giants. This will be the rookie Meggett. Struggles across the 25. They'll mark it at the 27. The tackle made by Karpinski. 16-yard return. So with 7:53 remaining in the half, it's 7-3 Detroit. 7:53 remaining in the half, but Richard Johnson has just silenced the crowd here at Giant Stadium with a 71-yard catch and run from Galliano. And Galliano, by the way, is 9 for 13, 150 yards and a touchdown for the Detroit Lions, and it's 7-3 Detroit.
I'm sure a lot of fans are wondering whether or not this stretch offense is really for real, but I think that as you see Detroit develop it and get comfortable with it, they'll find that it's very much for real in the NFL.
First down, Giants at their own 27. This is O.J. Anderson. Gets a couple out to the 30.
Giants going with a traditional attack. You want to try to establish yourself with a run on first down, get the necessary yardage to push yourself out and get comfortable for second down.
Phoenix going after its second win in as many weeks. How about the Rams and Colts? We saw the Colts last week. Lost to the 49ers, but they're strong. Dickerson going back home. It'll be second down and 7 at the 30. Sims to throw. Moat was in motion, and that's who he goes to. Moat out to the 37-yard line before Spielman can finally make the tackle. And it'll be close to another first down for the Giants. They will move the chains.
Chris Spielman told me last year that he was one of those guys who he felt that as he was raised up, he was raised to be a linebacker. Now, that's a scary thought if you play football and gone against linebackers. And this guy brings intensity to the game. I mean, you hear about a lot of players playing with intensity. He studies the game. He wants his whole life to be the game. And certainly right now it is. And that was the way he was at Ohio State as well.
8-year veteran, second-year veteran for Spielman, rather, as you look at Sims. 2 tight ends now on first down at the 38. Again, Sims has plenty of time, throws, and it's complete to Turner. To the 37-yard line for the Giants. A gain of 24.
And a tough assignment for Michael Cofer, number 55. He's got to try to cover a wide receiver downfield. Watching the left side of your screen, number 55, Michael Cofer, knows that his linebacker's in that zone, so he's going to drop off to that side, try to cover the wide receiver Turner, but he simply gets stuck down there in between the linebackers and the defensive backs. That's how you beat the zone, and that's what Turner did on the play. Go far enough to get past the linebackers, but not far enough to get involved with the defensive backs. It's pretty simple.
They're still working on Odessa Turner. He's shaken up. Mark Collins dislocated a finger earlier for the Giants, but he will be back.
This NFL game summary is sponsored by Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
If you're wondering about the run and shoot or the silver stretch, it is explosive. Look at the numbers. Galliano 9 for 13. 164 yards total offense for Detroit, 120 for the Giants. Galliano to Richard Johnson for the touchdown, 71 yards. Allegre with a 49-yard field goal, the only score for the Giants. Tim Brandt and Dan Jiggett, your impressions thus far of this ball game?
Well, the Giants have a ball control offense, but I think they're finding out that the run and shoot can indeed be a ball and control offense as well. And that's what the Lions have been doing with it.
A little overdue to the game, which is 7-3 Lions. It's first down, Giants at the 37. Sims to Anderson, and he loses 2. Sims is having a fine afternoon as well. He's 6 for 10, 77 yards. This time they fake the pass, and they give the handoff. The ball is shaken up.
Yeah, he almost got the handoff on the play, and it looks like somebody might have bumped his knee or his leg. But watch on the play, Jerry Ball, number 93, is going to just go straight back and take Bart Oates back into the backfield and just beat him on the play and grab O.J. Anderson before he can get out. O.J. looks like he's running in water there. He's just running in place, and that's because Jerry Ball is anchored to his leg.
Jimmy Williams was there as well, and they can't afford to get too many folks banged up. They aren't that deep.
Particularly at that nose tackle position, because I can guarantee you won't find that many people volunteering for the job.
Right end Keith Ferguson is already out. He's injured, not playing today. Ball is backed up by a rookie. Jerry Ball ran off the field under his own power. He appears to be okay. He's trying to loosen up on the sidelines. The word from the other side is that Odessa Turner took a shot to the head, and he will return. Meanwhile, Jerry Ball is replaced by the rookie Lawrence Pete at nose tackle.
The only way Jerry Ball's going to get off the field is under his own power.
Second and 13 for Sims. Throws to Carthen. Carthen out to the 29-yard line. He'll be shy of a first down. The tackle was made by Victor Jones.
So far. Conceptually, a nice drive by the Giants. You see they're using the receivers downfield, dumping it off to the backs when Detroit drops back in that zone and taking advantage of what the defense is giving them. I know it's an old saying and it's a trite saying, but that's exactly what you have to do when you have a ball control offense.
Jerry Ball comes back into the ball game. You see the numbers on Sims. It was a gain of 10. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Turner comes back into the ball game as well for the Giants. This is Anderson, and he's not going to make it. Oh, what a play by Victor Jones, the linebacker.
Problem there, O.J. Anderson did not get any blocking at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack. Victor Jones just stepped right in, met him right there on the line of scrimmage, and knocked him back.
And the Giants want to take a timeout. It'll be their first timeout. So with 4th down and 2 and 4:24 remaining in the half, the Giants will talk it over. Bill Parcells of the Giants has made the decision. On 4th down and 2, New York's going to go for it. The ball is just inside the 30. Carthen is the lone setback. Sims has time, goes deep, incomplete. But there is a flag.
It appeared that Mark Bavaro was bumped downfield. He's certainly the official's getting an argument from Benny Blades, number 36.
It is against Detroit.
And Wayne Fonts is incensed on that call.
I would say emphatic.
That official is trying to get away from him. He says, I'm getting an earful right here. Can I move downfield?
That official.
43.
That official was Paul Widener. And the penalty is against Jerry Holmes.
Critical play there because now the Giants get the first down right down here in the red zone and to take it in for the score.
1st down and 10, Giants at the 25. Anderson needs help. Doesn't get it and is run out of bounds just inside the 25.
Credit Terry Taylor, number 21, with a great defensive play, though. Works the ball down the line of scrimmage as a little guy about 160, 170 pounds and does not allow himself to be blocked and turned inside so the play can turn upfield. He's strung the play all the way out to the sideline. And that's something for a little cornerback to do.
Wayne Fonts just ran all the way down to Bill Reynolds, the head linesman. Yelled at him again all the way down at the 25. It'll be 2nd down and 9 at the 24. Sims to Bavaro inside the 10 to the 7.
Mark Bavaro slipped behind Jimmy Williams, 59, who was covering him. Can a zone. He released him to the latter part of the zone, and that's where Bavaro just settled down in there. That's what the Giants receivers are doing, is settling down in between those zones. Now, you be the DB, and you're looking at it right up in your face. See Phil Simms look the ball off, now come back to Bavaro. You can see the linebacker, Jimmy Williams, trying to catch up with him, and also Spielman in there. It's just too late.
A gain of 16. It'll be 1st and goal at the 7. Anderson breaks a tackle inside the 5 to the 1-yard line. Ball's loose, but it was ruled dead. They'll put it at the 1.
O.J. Anderson, that's the way to finish off a run. Don't fumble the ball, though. He was down. Apparently, the whistle had blown on the play. We get another look at it. O.J.'s trying to take it off tackle, tries to avoid Jimmy Williams there, just simply runs away from him, runs over a couple of defensive backs. Now let's see if he fumbled that ball just before he hit the turf. No, he was reaching out. He was already ruled down. The whistle had blown the play dead already.
Taylor and Blades hit Bavaro. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 1. Giants.
I go right up over the top, right up over the center.
Anderson. No signal yet. Detroit says the ball's loose. And it is. The Lions get it back.
Talk about critical mistakes. You get down there, you have a chance to put your team ahead. You cannot be putting the ball on the ground. Look at Wayne Fonts. He's telling his defense, you finally did what I asked you to do. Let's get the ball back. Phil Simms is going to try to send O.J. over that right guard, right tackle spot. He gets elevated on the play, and the ball gets popped out right there by Jerry Holmes. Sticks his hand in and pushes it out from O.J., and it is recovered by the Detroit Lions. Once again, now watch number 43, Jerry Holmes, come into the play. Slides, he slips down on the goal line. Now he gets back in there, hits OJ and hits the ball, knocks it out before OJ gets to the plane there. So gets to the goal line, never broke the plane to the goal line.
Well, it finally did. That's where they recovered it, so they bring it out to the 20. This is Barry Sanders. Sanders is hit by a whole host of Giants, but he still picked up 3. The 2-minute warning. And the Lions holding on to a 7-3 lead. Wayne Fontes is emotional. The Giants just drove 70 yards, used 6 minutes of the clock, and came away with no points.
Critical mistake down in the goal line. Now, what happens now is Detroit has a chance to run the ball for the last 2 minutes of the ball game. You can't get the football back, even though it's down on your side of the field, where if you get it, you can go and at least get a field goal or a quick score.
They still trail 7-3. Squandered opportunity by the Giants. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. So the Giants needing something badly. They've got to get a turnover or force something, because right now it's Detroit which is controlling the ball game.
They've got to play this 2 minutes very smartly. Try to make Bob Galliano unload it 3 times unsuccessfully and then get the ball back in good field position.
But it is a very smart veteran team.
That's a guy that can make you unload it quickly. LP.
It'll be 2nd down and 7 at the 23 for Detroit. Galliano looks deep, now double pumps and throws across the middle. It's complete to Johnson at the 45, and he tries to get out of bounds and does at the 46-yard line. Run out by Mark Collins, but it's a gain of 23.
With the Giants sitting back in those zones, the linebackers are back about 10 or 12 yards. Now they're up in a press position early, but you see them take off out of to get into their zones. Receivers come up underneath. Johnson does, makes the reception. You see the defensive backs have to run 10 yards up the field to get to the receiver. That lets you know that Terry Kennard is back at least another 10 yards. In order to make the play, he's got to try to come up the field to make it. Back in those deep zones, it's not going to work when you got those little Smurf receivers running around.
You saw the awkward way that Troy Johnson was thrown to the ground. He came up limping. It's 1st down at the 46. Johnson stays in the ball game. It's complete this time to Richard Johnson into Giants territory and goes out at the 47-yard line, so the clock stops at 1:45. Myron Guyton knocked him out there. Coming up at halftime, Brent Irv with all the scores, highlights, and the latest information. And what a game they'll talk about down in Washington, losing to Philadelphia. And I believe that's the first time the Redskins have lost 5 straight games at home under Gibbs.
And I believe that's Buddy Ryan's first victory down in RFK.
Might be the first time they've lost 5 consecutive games at home since 1956 or 57. 2nd down and 2 at the 46 for Detroit. Some problems, and it's Taylor who's tracking him down. Galliano runs out at the 45-yard line.
Oh boy, I tell you what, Lomas Brown turned around and got the kill shot on Leonard Marshall. Leonard was chasing Bob Galliano, and you just saw Brown turn back around inside and just nail Leonard Marshall. You know, those are the kind of plays when you go back and you look at the film afterwards, you know, you get a little star for that on the board, where all the offensive linemen keep their own little stats, knockdowns, pancakes, surprise blocks, that kind of thing. Lomas Brown had a tough week last week and was benched, partially because of injury and partially because he just simply wasn't playing that well, but he's gotten it together today. Worked very well against Lawrence Taylor and Leonard Marshall. Galliano
came up about 6 inches short of a 1st down, so it's 3rd and inches at the 45. The ball complete, 1st down, and Jason Phillips is nailed. Mark Collins is shaken up again. He's already playing with a dislocated finger, but he got a good lick on Phillips that time, and he's slow getting up. So with timeout on the field, we'll take one as well with 1:28 remaining in the half. In Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Tim Brandt along with Dan Jiggets, where the Detroit Lions leading the Giants 7-3 with 1:28 remaining in the half. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Look at Mark Collins, who went out of the ball game, had a little bit of a stinger, maybe jammed his shoulder a little bit. But it's first down and 10, Detroit at the 41. Galliano now 12 of 16. This is Sanders to the 30-yard line. Boy, he explodes through that hole.
But see, this offense designed to throw the pass. Now all of a sudden you start running the football. You saw there with Barry Sanders a little upset. He felt he could have gone the distance on that play. But it really throws you off in the 2-minute situation because you don't know what in the world they're going to do.
Gain of 11. On first down, Galliano throws complete to Richard Johnson, who stops the clock with 1 minute and 1 second remaining in the half, and that'll bring out the boos from the Giants fans.
Well, the run and shoot offense is like a 2-minute drill of full time anyway. 4 wideouts in the game. You're trying to work the sideline. If you don't work the sideline, you work the middle of the field and use one of your timeouts.
The Giants have been staying in a 3-3-5. In other words, it's a basic nickel to take out a linebacker, add an extra back.
The problem there being is if you don't get the rush with that kind of a defense, then everybody's open downfield because these receivers are running choice routes and breaking off as determined by what the defensive backs do. So they're going to be open downfield one way or another. On every play, a receiver's going to be open downfield.
Richard Johnson has 6 catches for the Lions. It's second down and 1. Flags fly everywhere. Might have been Carl Banks.
Offense.
Oh, delay on the offense before Banks jumped.
The one problem Detroit has is getting those plays in there and getting the ball off on time. That's something they've got to work on because they had that same problem last week.
Now, does that come with time because they have so many new players?
Yeah, I think so. You know, you add all the players into the mix and the new quarterback and the new situation. It's difficult to get all of this done in a small amount of time, and certainly the guys they were planning on playing, Rodney Peete as an example, at the quarterback position is not there. Bob Galliano's now got to decipher this thing and make sense of it.
Rodney Peete, by the way, started running this past week. He's got a sprained knee. He may be back against the Bears next week. Lions now 3 penalties, 15 yards. Galliano throws. Johnson makes the catch at the 11-yard line. Oh, how about that? His 7th catch of the game.
And Bob Galliano was flattened on the play, has enough presence to get up and call a timeout.
Checking to see if all his teeth are there. A gain of 14. 7-3 Lions with 47 seconds remaining in the half. Galliano did come over to the side. Check to make sure all his teeth are there. He's all right, shakes it off, and comes back in.
Guess that's a rattle your teeth play, huh? Gonna have to visit his dentist after the ball game.
No question about it. They came hard with Banks and Taylor from the outside. First down at the 12 for Detroit. Sanders inside. If he gets inside the 10, the ball's loose. No call from the officials yet.
It'll be interesting to see if they say they blew the whistle while he was down on the ground, or if indeed the play was still alive when the ball popped out.
I thought he was stripped, but they haven't signaled yet.
It appeared that he was on his way down when the ball popped out.
They may want to take a look at this one.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right on that.
Carl Banks stripped it loose, and he also recovered it.
Here's another look at it now. Watch number 20, Barry Sanders. A little counter play here. He breaks it back over to the right side. Right there, he takes one shot, but the shot that really strips the ball away from him is right there. And that's where you see Carl Banks reaching in. And as he was going to the ground, that ball is pulled out. I say it's a fumble. The Giants recover the football.
The officials agree with you. The offense is on the field for the New York Giants as the review continues upstairs.
Yeah, well, you know what Phil Simms is trying to do. He says, hey, if we run a play, then it doesn't make any difference. But, of course, those officials are not going to allow him to do that.
The replay official today is Tom Kelleher, as you look at Joe Brown from the NFL office with the sunglasses.
Here's another peek at it. Watch Sanders on the second hit, that one being by number 58, Carl Banks. Not that one, but this one right up, right there. Banks sticks his arm in there, strips that ball out. That's a fumble because the knees were not down on the ground. That's the key.
It looks conclusive to me.
Here's another angle now. Watch again, right along the hash marks. That's where Sanders is going to lose the football. Right there as Carl Banks strips it out.
Now that angle did look like his knees were
His
down.
knees do look down. I'm sorry, I take that back. His knees were down when the ball was flipped out. That angle shows it to me conclusively. I'll change on that one just like the officials do.
That's a
He
pretty
was
good
down
back
on the
pedal
ground.
for a big lineman.
Yeah, absolutely. No, from that angle you can clearly see it though. Once again, we're trying to see if Barry Sanders' knees hit the ground before the ball came out. A little difficult to see it from this angle, but just keep watching those knees. Right there, they're down. Now the ball flies out. Another angle at it. Still, watch the knees. Are the knees down on the ground before the ball comes out? 1, 2, the knees are down.
Upon
Ball comes
further
out.
review, the play stands. First down.
Fumble.
They must not have been looking at the same replay we saw.
Carl Banks knocked it loose, and he recovered it.
30 seconds. Clock
They're going to
operating.
adjust the clock.
That's really surprising, though, because it appeared that both of those knees were down on the ground. Now, keep in mind, only one of them has to be down. For them to be down on the ground, ruled down on the ground, and no fumble.
Well, you were strong in your opinion.
Well,
You have a right to that
from
opinion.
the first angle, it looked like indeed it was a fumble. But then you saw that second one, you said, no, no way.
Giants will just run the clock out. Not surprised they didn't say it was inconclusive.
I think they did.
They were pretty emphatic. He said the play stands. It is a fumble.
Giants just going to run this clock out here. That not making them very popular right now with their fans, but
And you
it's
know
a smart thing to do.
I think Parcells is happy to get off the field with a 7-3 score right now at the half. The fans are not as happy. So that's the end of the half with the score: Detroit 7, New York 3. (7-3) Lions as we prepare to start the second half from Giant Stadium in East Rutherford. The Meadowlands today, very nice, a little bit humid. Breeze picking up left to right. So it'll be at the back of the Giants as they kick off to Mel Gray. So Murray will tee it up for the Lions.
You know that when the Giants went into the halftime, they got a thorough tongue lashing from Bill Parcells. You'll see a different Giant team in the second half.
A look at the rookie, David Meggett. He'll be standing at his own goal line. He's joined down there by Mark Ingram, number 82. So the Lions will kick off to start the second half. Murray's kick is a short one. Ingram will take it at the 15 and run out of bounds at the 24.
Kind of an unusual play. I expected to see him try to get the extra yard or two on the play. Instead, he headed out of bounds. I don't know why.
Carl Painter, the running back, was the man who was credited with that tackle. And Sims will come on and start the Giant offense.
Special teams are all about collisions, aren't they? That's kind of an unusual situation. Once again, Mark Ingram makes the reception, now just kind of gingerly takes the ball out of bounds, doesn't press the issue. If I'm running the football back, I'm pressing the issue with the defense.
I think you saw Terry Taylor. So that's all. I'm going out. Sims on first down hits Moat at the 27-yard line. Knocked out by Benny Blades.
Batman, Benny Blades, number 36 for the Lions, back in Gotham City. Came in and caught the tight end, and key matchup there with the strong safety. You see Zeke Moat coming right back into your screen here, number 84, running that out pattern, and Benny Blades is on him like sweat and runs into the sideline. Now, people thought that he was a little exuberant on the sideline after driving Zeke into the ground, but that's part of the play.
Second down and 7. This is Anderson. Nice job in there by Jerry Ball clogging things up. He got a lot of help from Brooks, and they shut that play down quickly.
Once again, the Giants going back to their ball control offense, but that ball in the middle, Jerry Ball, number 93, says, hey, I like that action. Just keep bringing them right at me. We're watching a matchup of Ball and Oates today in the middle, one-on-one. And so far, Jerry Ball's had a pretty decent game, but Bart Oates has been doing a nice job as well. Kind of a Mexican standoff in there.
Sounds like a singing group.
Ball and Oates. You see Bart Oates, number 65.
Third down and 5 for the Giants. Ball at the 29. This Sims from the shotgun has backside pressure. The ball's knocked in the air, incomplete.
Jimmy Williams, number 59 for the Lions, was looking for the ball, and he couldn't find it. It got lost in the lights. It was up so high. And he tried to make the interception, but just couldn't find it. Now watch him. He'll be on the right side of your screen. The ball gets blocked as Phil Simms releases it right there. You see it get tipped by Jimmy Williams. Now Jimmy Williams is looking around. He says, I know I hit it. Where is it at? Finally he sees it, but it's a little bit too late.
So Sean Landeta comes on to punt. And Landeta will be punting to Gray. Mel Gray standing at his own 25-yard line. And he really hasn't had an opportunity to return one today. High snap for Landeta, but he still gets off a boomer. High spiraling punt. Gray will take it at the 26. And he's hit immediately. Renee Thompson came down as the outside contained man and made the tackle.
Boy, you get a bonus for that one if you're on special teams. That's the kind of action Bill Parcells is looking for.
Coming up next Saturday, Michigan State against top-ranked Notre Dame. That is live on CBS beginning at 2:30 Eastern Time. You probably saw the Irish this past weekend. And oh, are they strong. 2-0 now after beating Michigan and Virginia. That game next week, Michigan State and Notre Dame here on CBS. First down, Lions. Checks off and snaps it with 1 second left on the clock. And here's Johnson with his 8th catch of the afternoon. First down, Detroit.
The thing to watch for, Tim, with this stretch offense is as you see those receivers coming in motion, the reason why they're waiting sometimes when they come all the way out to the far side in motion is they're trying to read the defense. They're trying to see whether or not it's a man coverage or zone coverage. The further they go out, then you know it's a zone. In this case, they found a zone. Let the receiver come across the middle and make the reception, but that's why he's stretching that roll across the formation, because he's trying to get a read on what the defense is doing. You see him come further to the sideline, then you know it's a zone.
More yards in just over a half for the Lions than they had in 9 games last year. Barry Sanders straight ahead to the 47-yard line. Carl Banks makes the tackle along with Leonard Marshall. And the longer this game goes on, the more interesting it becomes.
Well, I think the more people get to see exactly how a passing offense can indeed be a ball control offense. That's the key. You keep using those short passes like long handoffs, then you can maintain possession of the football.
Second down and 7. Barry Sanders shaking his head in that huddle. He appears to be a little bit frustrated. He's only gained 34 yards today. Again, Galliano checks off. 40-second clock is down to 2. Galliano over the top. And Jason Phillips makes the catch at the 27-yard line. Terry Kennard made the tackle, but Phillips came clean. He had 1 catch last week. That's his 2nd here.
Last week, those receivers for the Lions had a lot of problems maintaining the football, catching the football. This week, it's not the same issue. Lawrence Taylor on the blitz. Now the Lions are stepping the guard out. Andelsek, that's him out there bumping off Lawrence Taylor, keeping him off that quarterback. Occasionally you see the guard slide out. Sometimes you'll see the tackle pick him up.
Tim Grant along with Dan Jiggets. 11:39 remaining in the 3rd period. The Lions continue to lead the Giants, and right now it's first down at the 27. Sanders has room. Leaves Kennard on the ground and bangs his way down inside the 15 to the 14. What a move he put on Kennard. A gain of 14.
Almost like a sucker play. What they wanted to do is let LT rush in. You'll see Lawrence Taylor coming from the right side of your screen. They allowed him to come in, and then they flipped the ball out to Barry Sanders, and he does a nice little move there. That turf wasn't slippery. He might be in the end zone now. But you saw the tackle, Lomas Brown, just step around and allow the linebacker, Lawrence Taylor, to rush inside along with Marshall.
Sanders is the 2nd youngest player in the NFL. He's 21. San Diego center Courtney Hall is the only guy who's younger. Galliano keeps it this time. Inside the 10 to the 7-yard line.
Same play off the option. Same exact play. Again, they let Lawrence Taylor come in. He's got to declare who he's going to tackle. If he goes out to Barry Sanders, then Bob Galliano runs the football in. First thing is watch Bob Galliano. He sees Lawrence Taylor right now. He says, he's going to take the back. Okay, I'm not going to pitch it. I'm going to take it in myself. Still looking for Barry Sanders, by the way. He gets out and he sees that action and says, let me throw it off to the back. Well-conceived offense. You make a great rusher like a Lawrence Taylor his own worst enemy, because now he's got to make a decision. You put the sweat on him.
2nd down and 4. Sanders spins through the 5 to the 3-yard line. Sanders is only 5'8". He weighs 203 pounds.
Wayne Fontes was telling us last week when he sent him in the game, and he admitted it himself, Barry Sanders did, that he was a little scared. You could see it in his eyes when we watched the tape. He looked frightened, but, you know, he's a little guy, and he goes in there, and all these big linemen are hitting him on the helmet and everything. He's got to be wondering, what in the world's going on? What did I get myself into? But he's got a load of talent, though.
I loved it when you asked him about becoming a millionaire so quickly in his life and how that's changed. And he says, it hasn't changed me, but it's given me the opportunity to help my family. And that was impressive. You see the measurement and how close they are. I mean, here's a guy, $2.1 million for signing, a bonus of $100,000, a roster bonus, $25,000 per game, cuts his own hair.
Not for long.
Just bought the Clippers this past week.
Well, now you can really exploit his talents down here in the goal line, though. You start thinking about his speed. You start thinking, maybe I want to send him to one of those corners.
3rd down and less than 1. Sanders. Touchdown, Detroit.
Barry Sanders is a very special running back. Only very special running backs make plays like that. Gets hit near the line of scrimmage, makes the spin out. Carl Banks had him down near the line of scrimmage, spun out and got back into the end zone. Watch him here, number 20, Barry Sanders. You'll see him get hit right here near the line of scrimmage, spin out of the play, and get back into the end zone. Great effort by Barry Sanders.
What great balance.
Oh, I'm telling you, it helps being 5'7" here, because you can see he's so low to the ground. Banks gets an arm on him there. He just spins right out of the tackle and takes it in.
Low center of gravity. Murray comes on for the extra point. And it's good. So with Eddie Murray preparing to kick off for the Lions with 9:55 remaining in the 3rd period, and Detroit winning. Galliano now for Detroit is 16 for 20, 251 yards and a touchdown, and he's hit his last 9 passes. The deep men for the Giants will be Dave Meggett and Mark Ingram. Meggett to your left, Ingram to your right, at their own goal line. Well, we said at the top of the game, after a short work week and an emotional win over Washington, the Giants may be flat. They're finding themselves down here 14-3. This is Ingram. Bounces outside to the 35-yard line. Explain what's given that Giant defense all the problems, Dan.
Well, what it is 3 receivers. You see these 3 receivers to a side here. Now, they're going to go to different levels down the field. Watch the receiver down here, though, in the bottom. He's going to be a guy that's going to set down. He's going to raise his hand for the quarterback and set down because he's reading the man-to-man coverage. Now, they're going to flood a certain area of the field. In this case, it's going to be the middle. I said before, there's always one receiver open on every play, and that's the receiver that makes the reception.
It's 1st down, Giants at the 37. For Sims. He's got plenty of time, and he's got a receiver. It's complete to Odessa Turner at midfield. Tackle made by William White. Excuse me, Dan.
Odessa was telling us an interesting story the other day. He said, you know, during training camp, he likes to work with kids and that kind of thing, and feels that, you know, you can be a positive influence to young people. And what he does during camp is on his days off and his time off, he likes to go and play touch football with them in the park and try to talk to them a little bit and make sure they're going in the right direction.
Hurt his knee last year against Washington after he had 8 catches. 15. It's first down. Again, Sims has time, throws underneath to Carson. Carson down to the 40. And it looks as if the Giants are starting to wake up.
Looks like that offense has got a little urgency about themselves now.
It's a nice way to put it. You have that feeling, don't you? That clock is an ally now for Detroit. But that's still remaining in the third period. It's still very, very early. Lee Roussan comes into the game for the Giants on 2nd down and 2. Sims has some pressure this time and throws it to Carson down to the 35, and it will be a first down. Tackle made by Chris Spielman. The baseball scoreboard will do some more business here. Kansas City up on top of Baltimore. That now a final 7-0. And Toronto beat Cleveland 2-1, so they extend their lead in the American League East. Now we go to the National League East. The Cubbies lost to Pittsburgh, and St. Louis lost the first game of a doubleheader. This is Roussan, left side. Down to the 30. Victor Jones with the tackle.
I tell you what, though, Maurice Carthon with a great block at the point of attack gave Lee Roussan room to move in there right at the line of scrimmage. I mean, he just cut his man. That was Chris Spielman. Put him up in the air about 6 feet. Beautiful block by Maurice Carthon, number 44.
2nd down and 5 at the 30. Carthon hit immediately and loses a yard. Eric Williams came through to make the tackle.
The way Eric Williams made that play, you'd think he was in the Giants huddle when they called the play.
He plays tough. Last week he had a concussion, came out of the game, came back, and he's been strong here today.
Here's a look from the ground. Eric Williams just simply barges in and makes himself a nuisance on the play. Beats Riesenberg there on the play and just slashes right through the line of scrimmage.
Lions go to 6 defensive backs now on 3rd and 6. Out of the shotgun for Sims.
You see the lineman in that up position. Pass.
Sims, pressure through the middle, has it complete. Manuel inside the 20. First down, Giants.
Get down in front of him and settle down in there.
A gain of 2nd down and a long 2. The setbacks are Anderson and Adams. This is Anderson. Inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Giants. Attempt the extra point. And it's good. So with 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third period, the Giants pull within 4.
Now you're going to see Otis Anderson score on the play. Key blocking down in front. He gets great blocking from his offensive line. George Adams gets a great block on Jimmy Williams. Mark Bavaro gets a great block on the linebacker. Otis Anderson makes a great run, second effort into the end zone. Touchdown, Giants.
Could you say it was a great play?
I'd say it's a great play.
Raul Alegre kicking off to Mel Gray, who will take it at the 11. No, it's Ray Crockett, the up man, and there's a flag down. Crockett cut off Gray, and we'll see what the penalty is. Tackle was made by Lewis Tillman, but it's going to be against Detroit.
Talked about how great that blocking was up front. And you always say offensive lineman talk too much. He's going to block down, and he's going to chip off, get the linebacker. Bavaro's going to take his man Spielman all the way in. That allows the running back, O.J. Anderson, to get up in there with a great block by number 33, George Andrews. Right there, that's Adams' block, excuse me, right there. Now watch him set it up, let his guard Roberts come out. He takes Blades out. You see Bavaro downfield with a block on the linebacker. That allows your running back to get in the end zone. Simple, isn't it?
You get the feeling that you like that execution. 8 plays, 64 yards. The holding penalty against Kevin Glover. First down at the 11, Detroit. Pressure. Eric Dorsey came through to break things up.
Oh boy, somebody woke up the Giant. You could feel that emotion. You could feel a difference in the emotion of this Giants team when they came back out for the second half.
But one thing you have to like about Galliano in that play, and Wayne Fonts told us yesterday, he doesn't take the sack very often, and he doesn't turn the ball over very often. He unloaded at that time to avoid the sack. 2nd and 10. Again, there's pressure, and it was almost intercepted. Again, it was Eric Dorsey.
If you're going to run a screen, and that appeared what the Lions were trying to do, you still have to block those defensive linemen. You can't allow them to rush your quarterback unmolested. That time, Eric Dorsey comes in untouched and is right in Bob Galliano's face. Watch left side of your screen. He just barely gets a bump from the guard inside. That's not enough to let your quarterback set up. You got to stick that guy before he comes across the line of scrimmage in order to be effective. And as big as he is, you got to stick him twice. His arms are so big, I think he can walk on his hands.
It's deafening in here. Galliano is a trained firefighter. He's trying to put the fire out here on 3rd and 10. He'll have to punt.
Steve DiAsi, key man on the play. Bob Galliano's trying to run that option play again with Barry Sanders. Decides it's unwise to flip it out, decides to keep it, and Steve DiAsi is on him like a cheap suit. Takes him down to the sideline.
Jim Arnold to punt it away, and Maggott is at his own 37. With a high wobbler. Maggott will take it at the 45 and calls for the fair catch there. Well, it looked like he had room.
Yeah, he shouldn't have fair caught that one. He's just being careful.
A 41-yard punt, no return. So with 4 minutes and 2 seconds remaining 3rd period, it's still a 4-point ball game. The Lions continue to lead, but the Giants have their best starting field position of the day. Hey, we're calling this Premier Sunday here on CBS. Everybody's favorite 60 Minutes returns tonight with 3 brand new stories to start its 22nd season. Same time, same place. Then Angela Lansbury hosts the CBS Premier preview of Major Dad, starring Gerald McRaney. I saw it, and it's spectacular. Then later, the comedy hit movie Roxanne, starring Steve Martin and Daryl Hannah. That's all tonight on Premier Sunday on CBS. First down for Sims. Has the completion. Bavaro gets 7.
Tim, I want to say that this is a critical drive here for the Giants standpoint. You know what you got to do. You got to take the football down and score here. Now, on the flip side of that, if you're the Lions, just hey, look, if we can stop the Giants on this drive, get the ball back when they got this great field position, then we know heading into the 4th quarter we're going to be in good shape emotionally.
It's still very early. 3:35 remaining 3rd period. Second down and 4 for Sims. Play action. And through the arms of Turner. But again, there was solid coverage on the corner, this time by Jerry Holmes.
Odessa Turner had time to sit down there on that sideline and make their pass reception. It was just a little high. Reason why, though, is you know that Detroit's got to be in man-to-man coverage when you see those linebackers blitzing in there. He's nestled down on that sideline. That ball's just simply too high. He had an opportunity, though, to grab it out there. Receiver downfield should be able to make that play. If he wants to be a great receiver in the National Football League, he makes that play.
Bill Parcells loves to talk about Odessa Turner and his stats.
So that's the thing that Jerry Rice has that makes him a great receiver. Stamina, the ability to run the same speed in the fourth as well as the first.
3rd and 4. Pressure on the backside from Sims. He scrambles out and gets the first down. There is a flag all the way back at the 45-yard line.
Phil Simms is indicating it's holding on Detroit.
And it is.
Johnny Greer agrees.
Holding 59 yards.
It's against Jimmy Williams. A gain of 15 by Sims, and one thing you have to keep in mind, it was the Lions that hurt themselves badly with their own mistakes last week in the loss to Phoenix.
Bottom left of your screen, you see number 59 as Jimmy Williams just grabs onto the receiver there and tries to drag him down as he turns back around. Can't get away with that, Jimmy.
First down, Sims drills this one to Bavaro. Terry Taylor makes the tackle.
Mark Bavaro, for as quiet as he is, I asked him yesterday, I said, well, did you make a statement about you feel this year you have to come back and play well and you got some personal goals? And he said, no, I didn't make that statement. And today he came back and asked me, he said, did you ask me about myself or the team? And I said, oh, well, I just wanted to know if you made the statement or not. He said, I did indeed make it about the team, and his goals are team-oriented types of goals. Didn't really concern himself too much about the personal statistical side of things.
Nonetheless, Bavaro caught 11 passes in 2 games against Detroit last year for 111 yards and a touchdown. 2nd down and 1. Sims has all day. Carthon to the 15. Tackle made by Victor Jones.
Well, you know, one of the things that if you have your receivers running downfield, now watch this area right in here. That's where the running back's going to slide down in because he knows that the receivers have run the linebackers off, run the secondary off. Now you see that back, number 44 just nestles down in there, Maurice Carthon, because he knows that secondary is run off and the linebackers are sitting in back and play in that zone.
4th catch of the day for Carthon. This is Adams on first down. To the 9-yard line. And he almost broke the hold of Jerry Holmes.
Said this was a key drive for the Giants here. If they can take it and they know what their assignment is, get a touchdown on the drive. So far they're working it down there very methodically. Dick Modzelewski, the defensive line coach for the Lions, has got to be looking around and looking for a little help. He asked me yesterday if I was ready to play. I said, no, coach. It's been about 5 years since I was ready to play.
Under a minute, 3rd period. Second down and 4. Turner. Touchdown, Giants. Comes on for the extra point. Giants trying to go up by 3. And it's good. So with 43 seconds remaining 3rd period, the Giants have their first lead since the 1st quarter. The Giants have taken the lead 17-14 with less than a minute to go in the 3rd period, and somebody gave the Giants a wake-up call.
Yeah, what happened is Phil Simms now really gave him the wake-up call down in the end zone, near the end zone. Blitz was onto his right side. He simply goes away. No defensive back is covering Odessa Turner. To speak of, Jerry Holmes gets there late, but he's just in time for the celebration for the touchdown.
2 Giant touchdowns within 8 minutes. Allegre's kick will be taken this time by Mel Gray at the 8. Gray needs help. Is run out of bounds at the 23. Lewis Tillman will get credit for the tackle. But the touchdown was really a broken play by the defense because Holmes never got out there to cover Odessa Turner.
Got 2 men blitzing from the right side. Sims simply goes left.
7 plays, 55 yards. It took 3 minutes and 19 seconds.
Bill Parcells is one of my favorite people in the National Football League as a person and as a coach. I think he gets the most out of his people because he enjoys individuals and the people that play for him.
Long count. Sanders. Not much. I think they can hear this crowd across the Hudson to Manhattan.
I'm telling you, in football parlance, they call this gut check time. This is when you find out what you're made of. When the game gets tight like this, going into the 4th quarter, you find out who's for real, who wants to strap it on to play a little football, and who wants to get back on the airplane.
Well, we're going to have to wait to the final 15 minutes to find out. Because this quarter's in the history books. At the end of the 3rd period, with a score, the Giants 17, the Lions 14. We now pause for a word from your local station. We're ready for the final 15 minutes from Giant Stadium, the Meadowlands in East Rutherford. Tim Brand along with Dan Jiggets, and the Giants have taken the lead 17-14. Galliano throws, intercepted. Myron Guyton to the 34-yard line. Was intended for Richard Johnson.
Watch Richard Johnson now. He's going to break back across the middle, but what Bob Galliano doesn't see is number 29 at the bottom of your screen, Myron Guyton. He's playing center field, just lays in there, hides in the weeds. He comes over and makes the interception, and then makes a nice return after he picks the ball off.
Guyton is a rookie, 8th-round draft pick out of Eastern Kentucky, first cousin of William Andrews.
Well, I tell you what, he's no rookie at hiding in the weeds in that defense.
Got big-time speed, 4-3. This is Adams. Oh, and is he hit at the 35-yard line.
This is when you got to pump it up a little bit if you're in that Giants offensive line. You know now you really need to push that ball in there and get another score, try to get a comfortable lead. But if you're in the Detroit Lions defense, you said, hey, look, this is a critical area. We stop these guys now. We really prove to ourselves and to them that they can't push us around and let our offense get back on the field, get another shot.
Kevin Brooks delivered the lick, but he got up and he's still shaking his head. I'm not sure he's all there. Let's see if they go after it. Instead, Sims to throw on 2nd down and 10. And that one's almost intercepted. Another catch for Turner. Michael Kofer was all over him.
Michael Kofer is a linebacker who everybody's talking about being an all-pro caliber type guy. Now, I said a couple of years ago, I thought this guy was going to go to the Pro Bowl. One of the reasons why is he's got great speed and pursuit on plays, and he's got some extraordinarily large hands as well. I'm 6'5", and I got a fairly big hand. His hand has got to be at least, his fingers are at least 2 inches longer than mine. And that's one of the things that helps linebackers grip onto those tight ends and the running backs when they're coming out of the backfield.
And he did become a Pro Bowler in 1988. 3rd down and 7. His hand was twice mine. Sims has all day in the pocket. Now decides to roll out and is taken down at the 35. Well, you'd have to say that was a coverage sack.
Exactly, because Phil Sims had great protection on the play, was not really forced out of the pocket because of a rush. Dave Meggett made a nice pickup in the middle. Watch number 30, Dave Meggett on Chris Spielman as he rushes in. Excuse me, that's Griffin, number 34. Meggett just got right up in his chest and stuck with him. Phil's got time to look downfield. Good coverage by the defense. You see them moving in concert with Phil Sims, and finally they make him run the football.
Sims looked a little bit confused. Landena will punt this one. He's standing in midfield. And Jerry Woods, number 28, will get his first action as a return man. And he's at the 10. I wonder if Mel Gray was shaken up.
Well, the Giants are going to go get the delay of game penalty again. Once again, help their punter, Sean Landeta.
Well, there it is. The clock expires on. They'll move him back a little bit and give Landeta some more room.
You know that on that turnover situation, the Giants were looking to really get something out of that drive. It takes a little bit of gas out of your motor when you don't at least get a field goal out of that type of a situation.
Delay. Decline. Fourth down.
Touche.
So they decline the penalty. They'll stay right there. Steve Diassi, the linebacker, is the center for punts, number 99.
Talk about a thankless job. That's one.
Now there's another flag.
I think what they're discussing is whether or not it's a penalty that you can decline. And they're saying, well, maybe you can't decline it. You got to take that 5-yard penalty.
I can tell you this, when the flag was thrown, they were outside talking to Mark Ingram, who was the wide man, the contained man on the punt. We'll wait and we'll hear from Johnny Greer, the referee.
Bill Parcells is enjoying this game of chess that he's playing here now with the delay of games.
Here's the call.
False start. 82 offense. It's decline. Fourth down.
So they sent him out there on purpose to get a penalty.
Try
That's
it
Ingram.
again.
Look at him laughing. He sent Ingram in to get the penalty.
He wants that 5 yards. He says, what do I got to do here to get 5 yards on my penalty?
Landeta stands patiently at midfield waiting to punt the ball. He's definitely going for the corner. This one will hit at the 5. Actually, it's caught by Renee Thompson at the 5-yard line. A 29-yard punt, and Renee Thompson makes the catch at the 5.
This NFL game summary is sponsored by Levi's 100% Cotton Dockers. If you're not wearing Dockers, you're just wearing pants.
Minutes and 20 seconds remain in the ball game, and it's 17-14 Giants. The Giants scored 2 touchdowns within 8 minutes in that third period, and that thus far has turned things around. Now the Lions come in with poor field position to start this drive. Tim Brandt and Dan Jiggets, and the last time the Lions were backed up like this, Dan, they didn't fare so well.
Well, this is a chance for them to find out what they're really made of and what this offense is made of. Now, critical situation. You got to push the ball downfield. No question about that. You have to be a rocket scientist and a smart to figure that one out.
Well, in Detroit, they're trying to restore the roar. We'll see if it happens in the next 12 minutes and 20 seconds. They trail by 3. Galliano to Barry Sanders, and he's got some room. Across the 20. And finally knocked out of bounds at the 28, and he's a big play player.
Great play selection by the Lions. Let the defense be over-aggressive, then run the screen. Watch right here in the middle, right in front of you. You're going to see that lineman hold up that defensive line for a second. Let Barry Sanders slip in behind him on the screen. Carl Banks can't get back to make the play. Glover's downfield, number 53. You see him reaching out. He can't really make the block. Barry Sanders just does a wonderful job of running the football downfield.
Sanders wore number 21 at Oklahoma State. He wears number 20 now, and he looks a lot like a former number 20 with the Lions, Sims.
Billy Sims.
First down at the 29, Detroit. Galliano looks back and has Johnson at the 44-yard line. Terry Kennard makes the stop. 2 big plays in a row for the Lions.
You know what's happening downfield. The receivers are working those different levels and working themselves open. But watch the protection that Bob Galliano gets here. Watch his offensive guard, number 60. That's Utley there. Good protection. Keeps his hands on his man. Allows the quarterback that vision to see downfield. Nobody's up in his face. Anybody can throw the receiver downfield. You can stand up and find the guy, and he's open. Even I could do that.
To this point, I've been impressed with Galliano. Very strong arm. The 9th catch for Johnson. Better snap it. He recovers the fumble, but they got into a bind. The clock was ready to expire.
Bob Galliano gets the snap, and I think he's concerned right now about whether or not the clock is expired. Just pulls out of there, simply lets the ball drop to the turf. Center got the ball back to him. It's the quarterback's responsibility to do the rest.
We'll keep an eye on that clock again. It reset at 30 seconds. It's down to 20 as he gets him out in a hurry this time.
Interesting thing is when the Giants are in that 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs, they have not been as effective unless they rush both of those outside linebackers, which they do here.
Galliano, backside pressure. Ball's loose. Giants get it. It's Eric Dorsey. Lawrence Taylor knocked it loose.
Oh boy, we told you they had to rush those outside linebackers. They brought Banks on one side, LT on the other side. LT gets right up in the quarterback's face, slaps the ball away. Watch LT at the top of your screen, number 56. Watch him rush the passer. See what kind of damage it causes. You see Banks on the other side. They simply squeeze the play down. LT runs over a couple of linemen, hits the quarterback there. Bob Galliano gives it up. And as a result, the Giants recover. Eric Dorsey on the recovery.
3rd sack of the day for Taylor. Sims on 1st down. Anderson runs out, but he's got another first. A gain of 13.
LT rushing from outside. Watch him at the top of the screen come in, and you'll see Carl Banks come from the other angle. That reduces the area that the quarterback can run in, and as a result, the Giants get the sack. He simply collapsed the pocket, even if the quarterback wants to roll to one side or another. That gives your linebackers time to get there. Offensive linemen have got to block those linebackers.
It's 1st down at the 24 now. There, O.J. goes down.
I think there was more there than O.J. took on that play. He should have bounced it out a little bit wider because there was a big hole, a gaping hole outside. He's just taking it a step wider. I think he'd still be running.
Victor Jones will get credit for that tackle. The Redskins in a whole lot of trouble in the NFC East. They're 0-2 now, and Dallas lost another one, but this time it was close.
Cincinnati spanking Pittsburgh. That's a surprising score there. KC on the way back with Marty Schottenheimer at the controls, at the head of the helm for him.
Here it's 17-14 Giants, 9:51 remaining in the ball game, and it's 2nd and 10 for the Giants. Sims, Bavaro, touchdown. Touchdown by Bavaro.
Tim, yesterday, Phil Simms told us, I'd relish the blitz. When Detroit wants the blitz, I want the football then. You see what he does with it when he sees that blitz coming.
Allegre adds the exclamation point, and New York extends the lead to 10.
You're wondering why the Giants were successful. Watch the blitz coming from the outside linebackers. Phil Simms reads it, goes downfield. Mark Bavaro right there is working against Benny Blades, number 36. Watch Simms read the play and just unload the football downfield. Now, as a result, Bavaro's got his man Benny Blades beat. Taught him a lot about the game of football last year when they played against each other. He's still teaching today.
Allegre kicks off. This is Mel Gray. To the 22-yard line. Taken down by Rene.
Left side of your screen, Mark Bavaro now on the reception that scored the touchdown. You're going to see him working against Benny Blades. You see number 58, that's Jimmy Williams, coming in on the blitz. You see Bavaro just slipped behind Benny Blades there, just kind of fell in the back there and caught the football for the touchdown. And that made Phil Simms extremely excited.
I bet it did. New York now has scored 3 touchdowns in less than 10 minutes.
Sims told us, Tim, yesterday, he said, look, when those guys blitz, I know what I'm going to do. I can't wait for them to blitz. And that's exactly what happened. Found his tight end, Mark Bavaro.
Sims is now 20 for 26, 218 yards and 2 touchdowns. First down, Lions. Galliano's got problems. And there is a flag.
Great pass rush by Leonard Marshall. And I think there's a holding penalty right at the end of that play.
It is against Detroit.
Eric Howard, Leonard Marshall in there. Good pressure on the quarterback.
Holding. 65 offense.
That's Andolsak on the hole, but watch Leonard Marshall on the far side up on the top of your screen. Good pass rush there. Eric Howard keeps a couple of guys occupied. And right there, that's where Leonard Marshall gets held by Andolsak. Just got to grab that ankle when he saw that he was breaking away. I'd do that too if you're going to hit my quarterback.
4th sack of the day for New York. It's 2nd down and 18 for Galliano. Sanders. He's got room to the 35-yard line. Right now, let's take you back to our studios in New York. Here's Brent.
Well, Tim, if you've got Roy Green in a fantasy football league, you're loving today. 2 touchdown catches. But if you're the defensive coordinator of the Giants, you got to worry about him next Sunday. 27-14 Phoenix, back to Tim.
Cardinals ready to go 2-0. That gain of 21 by Barry Sanders takes it out to the 36. It'll be first down, Detroit there. 8:42 remaining in the game. Next week on CBS Sports, we'll have regional coverage of the NFL, all starting at 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today. Check your local listings for the start of those games in your area. 49ers in Philadelphia should be a good one. Chicago, Detroit will be there. That's right. That should be a good one. And how about Phoenix? About to go 2-0 against these Giants. And Green Bay against the Rams. Check your local listings. Sanders comes out of the game for a breather. Tony Page comes in for him. It's first down at the 36 for the Lions. Again, there are flags. And it's going to be against Detroit. Illegal procedure.
This is where if you're the Detroit offense, you really got to settle your people down now if you're Bob Galliano and say, hey, look, let's take our time and do this thing methodically like we did early in the game.
64 offense. Still first down.
Dan, I was watching down at the bench. Barry Sanders was all the way back by the bench, hiding behind about 4 or 5 guys, and the coaches yelled for him, get back up here. We need you. He's got 4 catches, 63 yards, and he's explosive.
You got to believe the little guy's tired, though. I mean, he just came into camp. He's been in camp a week. I don't know if he's in great playing shape yet.
6 penalties for the Lions now. It'll be first and 15. Galliano, again, there's pressure. He's got some room and gets a great block to the 41-yard line. Oh, what a block by Robert Clark, number 82. And Sheldon White is just getting his wind back.
With that block, Clark becomes an honorary offensive lineman. What a nice turn back block. Bob Galliano got in a little trouble here. Leonard Marshall gets a nice pass rush, puts some pressure on him. You see Marshall, number 70, slide inside of the man. Now he avoids Page back there in the backfield. Galliano's got to get flushed out of the pocket. But watch this block coming up here by Clark, 82, right there. Just takes that defensive back out. That's that kind of thing, you know, you give him a couple of stars on his helmet.
Well, it made an extra 5 yards for Galliano. He was a pickup of 10, so it'll be second down and 5. Sanders. This could be delay again. 45-second clock had expired.
With the Lions.
Delay. Offense. Second down.
With so many of the routes being deep downfield, those receivers have to come all the way back, get in the huddle. And that takes up a lot of time off the clock. They've got to start hustling back to that huddle because they're burning up way too much time trying to set up.
They put 30 seconds back on the play clock. And it's 7 penalties against the Lions. New York still has to be penalized. Got one today. 2nd and 10. Look out, Carl Banks. Galliano avoids him. And then almost throws the interception. Again, it was Myron Guyton.
You saw Galliano at the end of the play signaling to his receivers, hey guys, you see me scrambling around back here, come back to the football. Don't keep running downfield. I'm running for my life. I got to try to dump it off to you back up underneath. Meanwhile, all his receivers are running towards the Hudson River.
I think Guyton was shocked. He was there and the ball was underthrown, came right to him.
Yeah, he's the only receiver that came back to the football.
Sometimes those defenders are the only guys open.
Now here's Bob Galliano. He's trying to call back his receivers and finally just dump the football off. He's trying to bring them back, say, hey, get back in here. There he goes. You got to come back to the quarterback when he's scrambling.
3rd down and 10. Galliano to Barry Sanders, and he's not going to get the first down. So the Lions will have to punt with 7 minutes and 36 seconds left in the game.
Bob Galliano unloads this football down to Barry Sanders. He can't believe it. He get the first down. He said, oh my goodness, I thought I had it.
So as Galliano comes off, Jim Arnold comes on to punt. And David Megan is standing at his own 11 for the Giants. You see the numbers on Arnold. Arnold gets off another wobbler. Megan comes up to the 20 to field it. Looks for the wall. And is taken down at the 27. A 37-yard punt, 7-yard return. I'm Tim Brand along with Dan Jiggets at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Detroit Lions led for a long time in this ball game, but the Giants came back and scored 3 touchdowns within 10 minutes and now lead by 10 with 7:25 remaining in the ball game. Next Saturday on CBS, #1 ranked Notre Dame, fresh off yesterday's 24-19 win over Michigan, take on the Spartans of Michigan State, who also cruised past Miami of Ohio yesterday, 49-0. That's all next Saturday here on CBS Sports.
Notre Dame just wants to keep all that beating right there in Michigan, huh?
Anderson. Gain of 2.
Giants' last 4 possessions lead to a lot of what you'd like to see. 3 touchdowns and only 1 punt. Now, the thing to keep in mind here, though, as you start thinking about the Giants' offense and what they want to do, obviously it becomes ball control with about 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Now you see if you can go on that long 6-minute drive, drain the clock and drain the energy out of that Lions defense.
Anderson and Carthen go to the eye on 2nd and 6. Anderson. Nice move across the 35, and he's got a first down at the 40.
O.J. Anderson, that old horse, still can kick. Gets up in the middle. He says he's become a running back that goes between the tackles now. Used to have a little bit of outside speed, but likes to stay right in between the tackles now. That's where he feels that that's his bread and butter.
I know how sensitive he is about his age at 31 years.
And you keep bringing it up. I want him to make sure that he knows that it's you that's bringing it up and not me.
The point I was going to make is it was his teammate, Eric Dorsey, said when he used to play street ball as a kid, he was always Otis Anderson.
Yeah, he said that while Otis was out of the room, too.
Oh, my. Here he is again. A gain of 1. Let's take you back to Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Well, Tim, this time, Joe Montana does not fail. He throws the ball to Jerry Rice for the touchdown, and the Super Bowl champs have finally moved ahead of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 8 minutes to go. It's 13-9. Back to Tim.
Well, I don't know. It seems like the 49ers just follow that script, don't they? Every game, you know, when they got to get the touchdown, it sounds like Montana to Rice. It sounds like something you cook up, huh?
Same battery that won the game against the Colts last week. Montana to Rice. Working on LT's left hand. Second down and 9 at the 41. Here's Anderson again. Play strung out nicely on the corner by Terry Taylor and Chris Spielman.
I tell you the other problem, William Roberts, when he's pulling on that play, has got to get out and give O.J. Anderson an opportunity to read the play and get downfield. That time he took a little bit too much time cruising out to the corner. Good defensive play, though.
Taylor made the fine play of stringing it out. Spielman came back and made the tackle. Timeout. New York. Let's take you through the finals of today's ball games around the National Football League, because there were some wild ones. Look at this one.
Philadelphia 42, Washington 37. Randall Cunningham, a whole lot of magic and a whole lot of yards. 447 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Redskins were up by 20 in that one too. Dallas loses, this time a tough one to Atlanta.
The Jets losing to Cleveland. Cleveland's trying to come back. Bernie Kosar had a good day, 3 touchdown passes. Cincinnati spanking Pittsburgh 41-10. Pittsburgh has had 2 games where they've just gotten smoked this year. And earlier it was Cleveland last week. This week it's Cincinnati. They're going to work right through the Central.
92 points they've allowed in 2 games. Kansas City with a win over the Raiders.
And this man, Bill Parcells, is looking for a win here today.
Eric Dorsey is having x-rays on his left foot. He was stepped on, so they've taken him in. And he will not be back for the Giants today. Four minutes, 52 seconds remain. This is 3rd and 8. And the Giants are going to have to punt. Meggett got a couple, but not nearly enough.
Crowd's a little disappointed. They felt that was a little conservative by Bill Parcells. They wanted to see the football in the air in an attempt to get the first down. Bill said, I'm going to keep it on the ground and burn up as much of that clock as I can.
Good look at Sean Landeta. USFL veteran, and he'll be punting to another USFL veteran, Mel Gray.
And Mel Gray can be very dangerous on punt returns and kickoff returns.
Well, the Lions need something here. Down by 10 with just over 4 minutes to go in this ball game. Another high snap, and Landeta has pressure and gets off a wobbly kick that'll hit at the 20 and go out of bounds on the 17. The word on Lawrence Taylor is that he has a sprained finger and he will return. Landeta, meanwhile, shakes his head after a 38-yard punt.
LT, again, I was talking about that new hairdo he's got, and he said that, hey, that's the thing that makes me feel young and look young. I said, okay.
He's very relaxed yesterday.
Yes, he was. You know, and when he was talking about playing 2 more years, quite possibly, and then calling it a career, I think in the back of his mind, though, he's thinking, if I still feel good, I can still play and still go out and do the things that I want to do at the level that I'm used to doing, and then maybe he'll hang around a little bit longer. Let's hope so. He's a great outside linebacker.
He may try to get on that tour with Michael Jordan. Both are strong golfers. First down, Lions at the 18. This is Barry Sanders. Sanders gets a block across the 40 to the 44-yard line.
Once again, the Lions say, hey, look, you know, if you want to be aggressive on this thing, rush us with those outside linebackers. I'll dink it to my back in a little semi-screen here, just pop it out to the back, and then just let him run and do the rest, because the only thing that's back there then, when those linebackers rush, are defensive backs that have to make the stop.
A gain of 26. Galliano steps up in the pocket, drills it, intercepted. It's Steve Biasi. But give credit to Carl
the zones are starting to get to Bob Galliano. He's not looking at that underneath coverage where those linebackers are. They're disguising it well and then shutting the play down and intercepting the football. You see, Galliano thinks he's got a clear lane to throw the football downfield, but Carl Banks will step in, slap the ball up, and that's where Steve Diassi comes in playing a little volleyball there. Steve Diassi makes the interception and doesn't look like he's used to running with the football after he makes it. Here's another look at it. Watch on the right side of your screen. That's where you're going to see Carl Banks tip the ball up and give Steve Diassi, number 99, an opportunity to run into it. Actually, it looks like it lances off of his helmet, and Diassi just looks real bad on that run, doesn't he?
Give the guy a break. It was a nice interception. Here's Anderson to the 37-yard line. Dan, that's the 4th turnover for the Lions today. They've also had 8 penalties. And so once again, they've hurt themselves badly with their own mistakes.
They have, but I think if you're looking for positives out of a negative situation, want to put a little positive spin on it, you say, well, the offense has done some exciting things today. They've put a couple of points on the board and moved the football fairly effectively against a good Giant defense.
Oh, there are a lot of positives, and there's one of them right there.
Wayne Fontes is one of those guys that brings so much energy to the game, as does Bill Parcells. They keep their guys up, their people, guys, the coaches, they stay involved with their teams. Something that's unusual on that level at times.
First down, Giants at the 36. Anderson, left side. Gains 1. Tackle was made by Jimmy Williams. And the Lions will take a timeout with 2:19 left.
The reason why they take that timeout is now they're going to make the Giants run one more play before the 2-minute drill. O.J. Anderson is he's looking a little tired now. I don't know if he'd be commenting too roughly on us about talking about those 31 years now. Looks like he could use a break or two.
Oh, I want to tell you something. We tease him. But you remember, he was out of football for a while, or at least was not playing much. And he came back, and he was strong when he came back. He had 23 carries last Monday night, 93 yards. He's got 23 carries right now, 78 yards and a touchdown.
And Bill Parcells was telling us how he likes to work his little bit of psychology on Otis and making him think that he's just not doing enough, so he keeps pushing himself to do a little bit more and not pay attention to all those naysayers out there who say a 31-year-old running back can't keep doing it.
All they have to do now is melt the clock. 2 minutes and 19 seconds left. Detroit has 1 timeout left. New York has 3. We've got the 2-minute warning coming up in just 19 seconds. On 2nd and 8, it's Anderson again. Breaks outside and carries tacklers inside the 20 to the 18. O.J. Anderson. There is a flag.
And normally that's holding out on the corner. I'll tell you what, there's some great hook blocks up in there. And one of those hook blocks must have had a real hook on it.
A gain of 16, but they'll bring it back. That's the first New York penalty of the afternoon.
Holding. 89 offense. Still 2nd down.
That's Mark Bavaro.
Well, I tell you what, if you're going to get it, get a good one, and he got a great one that time. O.J. Anderson had about 30 yards of clear astroturf looking at him. It was Mark Bavaro, and got that corner sealed off for him over there and gave him plenty of room to run. Mark Bavaro, everybody says, is one of the best blocking tight ends in the National Football League. Every now and then what happens is you hook up with your linebacker, that outside hand gets out, and the linebacker makes his move to the sideline, and then it really slips out and gets around his back. And you don't initiate that kind of an action, but the official sees that late action with the arm outside and gives you the flag.
So that penalty makes it 2nd down and 18. Here's Anderson again. Gets a couple. Chris Spielman makes the tackle.
Yeah, that was the same play. I said if it worked right once, let's do it again. Bavaro there is expressing his opinions to Chris Spielman.
2-minute warning. We'll be back. We're calling it Premier Sunday. Everybody's favorite 60 Minutes is up first. Same place, same time. Then Angela Lansbury hosts the CBS Premier preview of Major Dad starring Gerald McRaney. And later the comedy hit Roxanne. Had a chance to watch Major Dad yesterday. And it is really a good little show. It's funny. I had my kids watch it earlier in the week, and they thought it was hysterical. They laughed all the way through it.
I think that's the thing. It's a show you can watch with your kids. It's very enjoyable. Teddy Z is another show I think is going to do very well this season. A lot of fun to watch.
Major Dad with those kids. I mean, it was easy to see he was going to make his way into that family, and it's got some great lines in it. Don't miss it. 3rd down and 17. The ball at the 43. More importantly, we're inside the final 2 minutes. This is Anderson. Big hole right side. Inside the 35 to the 31-yard line.
Detroit called the timeout. But O.J. says, you take all the timeouts you want. I'm rolling now.
Tackle was made by William White and James Griffin. Quick look at some of the baseball scores as we try to wrap up some of the business today. Toronto beat Cleveland while Baltimore lost to Kansas City. So they extend their lead in the American League East. Take you over to the National League East. You'll see that Chicago lost today while St. Louis lost game 1. That's a doubleheader. And what about the Mets? Is it time to write them off yet?
No, they're still very much alive in that NL East race. I know the Cubs are certainly still concerned about them.
I disagree. I think they're at the end of the rope anyway. You see St. Louis is winning that second game 2-0.
Sean Landeta in for the field goal attempt.
If it's Sean Landeta, we got a scoop.
Excuse me. Guerrero Alegre.
Alegre hit one from 49. This one will be from about 50. It's long enough, but it's off to the left. He won the game Monday night with a 52-yarder, so there's no question his leg is strong.
Should have been Landeta. It was a nice punt.
His hitter was working, his aimer was off.
Well, you know, one of the reasons why you go for a field goal in that situation, even though you're up 10 points, is when you look at the end of the season and all those tiebreakers, you know, people say, oh, you're padding the score a little bit, but no, you need those points later on when you get to the tiebreakers.
1:46 remaining in the ball game, and I don't think there's any question Detroit is a much improved football team. But with as many new players as they brought in just in the last 10 days, it'll take time to mesh them together. They're still hurting themselves with mistakes and turnovers. Here's Galliano going deep. He's got Clark. Intercepted. Mark Collins makes the interception at the 28, and Clark was by him. The ball was underthrown.
The official's going to rule that Collins was down after he made the interception, and the receiver touched him while he was down. But when you start thinking about the improvements that the Lions offense has made today, one of the key areas was drop balls. Last week they had a big problem with that. Today, not really apparent. Not
only last week, 9 drops in the preseason, 5 drops last week, 4 by Chadwick, and he was waived.
Here Bob Galliano's trying to stretch it out, go downfield, but he just underthrows the football. You see the receivers got the DB beat already, and that's Collins makes the interception, gets up and tries to run, but as you can see, he's down there at the end of the play.
Dan, it's been a fine afternoon for the Giants, but we do have some bad news now. We just got a call from the locker room, and Eric Dorsey has a fracture in his foot, and he will be out.
That is bad news. Eric Dorsey's become a very integral part of that defensive line for the Giants. Big man, big pass rusher, very well, plays very well against the run.
What's very sad about that is that Dorsey probably works more than anybody on the Giants to get ready for these games. In the offseason, he was just diligent to the point where Bill Parcells had to tell him to take some time off.
He says he's one of those guys that's so dedicated, you chase him out of the locker room and out of the weight room, and to have all that kind of effort go to waste for a couple of weeks because of an injury is just a shame.
The X-rays were positive. Bad news for the Giants. Under a minute to play. And the clock will continue to roll. The coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS is Charles H. Milton III. The producer of today's telecast is Bob Dekas. Directed by Mike Arnold. And the executive producer of CBS Sports is Ted Shaker. They don't have to run another play. And the Giants will go 2-0 with wins over Washington and now Detroit.
This is the time you're kind of enjoying the game. If you're an LT or somebody on the New York Giants has done a good job today, played well. Carl Banks had a good day. Bill Parcells still doesn't look excited about the victory. He's got a lot of things on his mind. He knows that NFC East is going to be an exceptionally tough division to win this year.
Well, it took the Giants a while to figure it out, but then with 3 touchdowns in 10 minutes in the second half, they go on to win it by 10. Impressive win, just the way the Giants came back.
Well, I think that they showed what they were all about in that second half. When you really have to come back and do it, that's what they did. They came back and proved themselves.
So once again, the final score, the Giants 24, the Lions 14. Right now, let's go back to our New York studio. Here's Brent Musburger. Brent?
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Next for the Giants, Phoenix, we have some drama unfolding down in Tampa. The Buccaneers, on a touchdown pass by Testaverde, have moved ahead by 3. 3:25 to go. So now we're going to send you down to Dick Stockton.
That's the potential he's shown.
We want to welcome the viewers who saw the Giants beat the Lions 24-14 at Giant Stadium. You're looking at Mark Carrier, who has just caught a touchdown pass to give the Buccaneers a 16-13 lead over the San Francisco 49ers. Dick Stockton and Dan Fouts, and this is the play that put Tampa Bay in front.
Testaverde pumps the ball to Carrier on the in route. He fakes Don Griffin with the pump and then delivers a perfect strike to Carrier in the end zone.
What about the 49ers in this game? They started out in sluggish fashion and looked like that they had the control going into the final moments.
Well, the momentum was all on their side. The Bucs got 2 lucky bounces. They got the interception off of Mark Robinson that Ricky Reynolds picked up, and then the long pass down the field to Bruce Hill that should have been an interception for the 49ers. That was deflected up in the air. Carrier made that grab, and that gave them the momentum back from the 49ers. They go in for the score, and now they're on top with just 3 minutes to go.
3:25 exactly. 16-13, Tampa Bay. Those of you who were expecting to see 60 minutes on CBS Sports, welcome to Tampa, Florida, where in the final 3:25 of this fourth quarter, with Tampa Bay leading the world champion San Francisco 49ers 16-13. Igwe Buike on the kickoff, and Terrence Flagler returns. Flagler is down at the 30. The Buccaneers have just scored to take the lead on a 7-play, 60-yard drive, capped by an 18-yard touchdown pass from Vinny Testaverde to Mark Carrier, as Testaverde really, after a slumping game, has come on big in a big series.
Well, he got the lucky bounce there, and then he really delivered the really crucial pass on the touchdown, where he had to fake the defensive back, make him buy the in route, and then throw it up over the top.
Now the 49ers on their own 30. Montana has John Taylor, and Taylor has the first down up to the 45-yard line, a gain of 15. Kevin Murphy making the stop. First catch of the day for John Taylor, who caught the Super Bowl winning score.
You just wonder how much magic Montana has left today. He has played an outstanding game in this second half. He's been responsible for the 49ers getting back in sync and getting ahead on the score. We'll see if he can do it again.
Montana has Rathman. And Rathman gets down to the Tampa Bay 40. Hamilton on the stop, and that was 15 more yards for the 49ers.
Yeah, and Rathman had the chance to step out of bounds if he wanted to. He didn't. The clock is still running, and the 49ers are going to go to the hurry-up offense before the 2-minute warning.
So the 49ers have 2 timeouts left. Field goal would tie it up. A touchdown would win. Pass is caught, and that'll be a first down. Jerry Rice. And we'll run down to the 2-minute warning. An 11-yard gain. So the 49ers given all they could handle by Tampa Bay, a growing team. 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and a great surprise and a shock here. Timeouts remaining. Tampa Bay 3 and San Francisco 2. And Dan, we know this is a great boost for Tampa Bay, but what must the 49ers be thinking in a struggle in the second game of the year?
Well, right now, they knew that they were going to be in trouble yesterday. Talking with them, they kept mentioning, well, we don't want to give these guys any idea that they can beat us. Well, that's exactly what they did throughout the first half with penalties and drop balls and everything possible that could go wrong. Right now, the 49ers are in great shape to tie this game up, number one. They're got about a 47-yard field goal if they want to try one now. But they're thinking, hey, we got to get the touchdown and get out of here. I'm not sure that the 49ers have enough left physically to go into overtime.
That's an interesting point. Even though the sun is not on the field now, the toll has been taken with the humidity here. And of course, if they go into overtime, you know, who knows how long that will last. If you're Joe Montana, you've been doing most of your damage through the air this afternoon.
Well, and Joe Montana has answered every challenge as he usually does. He's doing a nice job now of dealing the ball off to different receivers. And this drive, he's hit John Taylor and Tom Rathman, and this last pass went to Jerry Rice. They're going back to basics of spreading the ball around in that secondary.
We'll check the scores of the games that started several hours ago. And a lot of high-scoring affairs around the league.
But not here. This has been surprisingly a defensive battle.
3-0 after one quarter. Tampa Bay 6-3 Niners at the half. 9-6 Tampa Bay after 3. First and 10 at the 29. Here's Craig. Sean Lee with a big defensive play. No gain. The clock continues to run.
Again, trouble with the running game for the 49ers, but they're going to a hurry-up offense right now.
Second down and 10. Montana fake right, flag down, and Jerry Rice makes the catch for the touchdown. And now one official seems to be signaling that he might have been out of the end zone, but there's a flag back down at about the 25. So hold everything.
Now, this is a great catch regardless of the fact if he's in bounds or not. Number 93 said no. Number 75 there said yes. And now we're going to find out what this penalty is. It was thrown in the backfield, defensive backfield of the Bucs, so it could be pass interference against either team.
Gordon McCarter is our official. Jerry Rice has already caught a 2-yard touchdown pass today.
And Montana signals that it's holding in the defensive backfield against the Bucs.
That's what it is. We want to welcome the viewers who watch the Vikings and the Bears.
The field was completed catch, touchdown. The play is being reviewed. The play is being reviewed.
Here's what's happening right now. Joe Montana presumably threw a touchdown pass to Jerry Rice at the back of the end zone, Dan.
And the review is, did he have both feet in the end zone with possession of the ball before he stepped out of the back? This is what the officials are looking at upstairs in the replay booth. There's the perfect throw. Look at the catch. Great hands. One leg down, and one out of bounds. That's not a catch.
They're reviewing it now. One official signaled touchdown, and the other one signaled that he was not in the end zone, that he was out of the end zone.
Well, if they're looking at the same pictures that we are right now, there's no way that they can rule this a touchdown, because there's his left foot is in the end zone and his right foot is clearly out of bounds. But the penalty was against the Bucs. The 49ers will have a ball first down inside the 20-yard line.
Here's Gordon McCarter.
After further review, the play has been ruled incomplete pass. However, we have a defensive holding. Automatic 5 yards and automatic first down.
So pass interference against the defensive team, the Buccaneers. 49ers couldn't lose, although they could win big with that touchdown.
Yeah, the good news and the bad news is, the good news that you still have the ball and it's first down. The bad news is you still got to score a touchdown to win this one.
Or a field goal to tie. Ray Perkins who promised success for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this the third year.
And I think he's got to be happy with the way his ball club played. This is the barometer, he said, to tell him how good a football team he has. He's got to be extremely pleased that they lead the Super Bowl champs with 1:30 to go in the ball game.
Beat Green Bay last week, but this was a step up in class for sure. First down, Niners on the 25 of Tampa Bay. To go. Roger Craig inside the 20. Donnie Elder on the stop. Want to remind our viewers that 60 minutes will follow the finish of this game. As you could see, Roger Craig not having a very productive afternoon on the ground. 2nd and 5, the pass intended for Rathman, overthrown. 3rd down.
But what you'll see Montana here in this situation, if he doesn't have a guy wide open, he's not going to force it in there. He knows that a field goal will give him a tie and put it into overtime, and he's got to like his chances against anybody in overtime. He's going to be very careful where he goes with this ball.
Still, it's a much tougher battle than the 49ers had anticipated, as much as they talked about Tampa Bay's upstart abilities.
It took the 49ers a half a game to get anything going, to get back into sync, to start playing championship football.
3rd and 5. 4 wide receivers. Montana has Taylor. He's got a first down, but a flag is thrown from the defensive backfield. Taylor has the first down, ridden out of bounds by Rod Jones. A gain of 12, but a penalty is down.
And again, it's going to be defensive holding in the backfield from the Bucs.
Second time in this drive. It'll be an automatic. Well, it was a first down in any event.
And they'll refuse this penalty because now they'll have the ball inside the 10, whereas if they take the penalty, it wouldn't be quite that far.
Holding. Number 40, defense. Penalty decline. First down.
Donnie Elder called for the flag, and the 49ers have the ball 1st and goal at the 8-yard line now with exactly a minute to go in regulation. 2
holding penalties in the defensive backfield is really caused by the fatigue factor. These guys are running around all day. We've played 59 minutes of this ball game. It's hot, it's humid, the players are tired. This is another long 49er drive, and that's why we're getting that type of penalty.
Rathman goes out, 3 wide receivers. Mike Wilson is the 3rd. Craig cut down for a loss of 2. Mark Robinson, the strong safety. The clock did not run, so we're going to have an adjustment, although one of the clocks says 54 seconds. In any event, the 49ers have used their second timeout of the second half.
That's just a case of home field advantage. You know that the guy working the clock has got to at least live in the the Tampa Bay area here. You don't think they imported him from San Francisco, do you?
I'm sure no one else was looking at the clock.
No, but our crack crew was. He got a good shot of it. Mark Robinson having an outstanding day. We talked earlier about he and Hamilton and Marv being the leaders of this team. Well, this is where the leaders have got to come up and make the play. They got to stop Roger Craig on a sweep like that, and that's what Robinson did.
Tampa Bay had scored a few moments ago on a pass from Testaverde to Mark Carrier to give the Buccaneers the lead. Igwebuike also with 3 field goals. Jerry Rice with a touchdown reception, and Mike Coper has 2 3-pointers for San Francisco.
Well, if I'm the Tampa Bay Bucs, I'm going to have to give extra attention to Jerry Rice.
1 timeout left for the Niners. 2nd down and goal at the 9. 2 tight ends, San Francisco. Was intercepted by Ricky Reynolds, intended for Rice. They had him covered.
Well, Reynolds did a super job of cutting inside on the slant pattern and broke it up.
Third and 9.
49ers only have 1 timeout left.
51 seconds on the clock. 3rd and goal at the 9. Joe Montana on 3rd and 9 overthrows John Taylor, but a penalty marker is down. You're looking at a dramatic finish in the 4th quarter of this game. Those of you who have been watching Phoenix and Seattle, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been called for defensive holding for the 3rd time on this drive, and the 49ers will have an automatic first down as they try to pull out a victory here against Tampa Bay.
Number 40 defense, half the distance penalty, automatic first down.
Donnie Elder for the 2nd time guilty of holding, and so here's the story. The Buccaneers lead the Niners 16-13 with 46 seconds to go, but they keep giving San Francisco a new life, Dan Fouts.
Well, and that's murder, and it's murder. It's like suicide. The Bucs just can't afford to do it. They've got to find a way to make a play without giving the 49ers new life.
On the 4, here's Montana. He'll run for it, and he scores. Joe Montana with a 4-yard run. And the San Francisco 49ers have regained the lead with 40 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter.
You know, the last time Montana was in Florida, he didn't do too poorly either. Here he gets the winning touchdown on the bootleg, a play that's been good for the 49ers all day long. He could have thrown this ball to any number of receivers in the back of the end zone. Brent Jones, number 84, was wide open, but Montana saw this clear sailing to the corner of the end zone for what appears to be the winning touchdown.
He has been the leading rusher today for the 49ers, Mike Kofer, to add the extra point, and a big one because San Francisco now leads it by a score of 20-16 with 40 seconds to go. So the Buccaneers, who have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, need to go the field, the length, and a touchdown. The only way they can win. In a game in which the Buccaneers have given the 49ers all they can handle, dominated them really in the first half with superior defense. Even though the Niners led 6-3 after 3 quarters, Tampa Bay was up by a field goal and actually led by 3 with minutes to go. But Joe Montana, as he has so many times, Dan, led him on the big drive, and the inexperienced defense hurt Tampa Bay.
Well, it really did. That with a couple of holding penalties that kept the 49ers 70-yard drive alive. The Bucs have learned a great lesson today. They have been able to sit here in this classroom and learn from the master, Joe Montana. He's continued to come up with a big play all day long, getting in the end zone, running the ball himself. You know, he's going to sleep well on this 5-hour flight they got back to the city.
Donnie Elder on the left, Willie Drury on the right. You're right about Montana gained 41 yards rushing today. As Koper prepares to kick off. And it'll be Elder. He'll down it for the touchback. Well, tonight's the night. It's CBS Premier Sunday, starting with the season premiere of 60 Minutes. Then Angela Lansbury hosts the CBS Premiere Preview, starting with the full-length preview of the bright new comedy Major Dad, starring Gerald McRaney, and it's a fascinating comedy about a military major who meets a young lady. He's got 3 daughters, and he really has his hands full. Then stay tuned as Angela Lansbury and the cast of Murphy Brown introduce you to some of the new stars on CBS. You'll love them all. John Cryer of the famous Teddy Z, Richard Chamberlain from Island Son, and Tim Reed and Daphne Maxwell Reed of Stoops. First down on the 20. Testaverde's pass is incomplete, intended for Ron Hall, the tight end. And then to top it all off, Steve Martin and Daryl Hannah star in the network television premiere of the hit movie comedy Roxanne. So stay with us. It's a great premiere Sunday, all tonight on CBS. 36 seconds to go, Dan, and no clue or no problem as to what the 49ers expect from Tampa Bay here.
Well, Tampa Bay has to go the distance. They got to get a touchdown. They're down by 4, 80 yards in 36 seconds. Tough.
6 defensive backs and a fumble. 49ers signaling that they've recovered, and they have. And that'll wrap things up.
A fumbled snap. Testaverde finishes his day, not in the fashion he started it, but he has had a rough afternoon from the second quarter on.
Kevin Fagan made the recovery for the 49ers.
Let's see what happens here. If he just steps out too soon, or if Grimes doesn't get the ball up, really doesn't matter in this situation. The Bucs had a tough task ahead of them. They played an outstanding game today, took the 49ers to the wire.
Testaverde looks like that he's hurting over in the sidelines. He had injured his right hand briefly before. Now it's his left. And the 49ers will just run it out, although the Buccaneers still have all of their timeouts remaining. They want the timeout. Tampa Bay coaches are signaling. The Bears with a big win over Minnesota in a final score. Giants over Detroit.
Giants bounced back well from that Monday night game. San Diego was ahead in this ballgame against Houston. That's a rare win for the Oilers on the road.
The Rams over the Colts. Eric Dickerson going back to Anaheim. 31-17 the final score there. So the Rams, the Saints, and the 49ers will all go to 2-0 in the NFC West.
You know, I believe that Green Bay came back to upset the Saints 35-34, so it'll be the 49ers and the Rams on top.
Atlanta beating Dallas.
Dallas still looking for their first win. They get the Redskins next week in Dallas.
Cleveland Browns go 2-0. They scored 51 points in their first game.
Well, at least the Pittsburgh Steelers got some points this week.
And Kansas City beating the Raiders 24-19.
Dan Marino had a super day. There's that score. Green Bay 35, New Orleans 34.
This was probably the only game that didn't have that scoring that we had throughout the NFL in what had really been a shootout day in the NFL on Sunday.
Yeah, this was a good defensive ball game. Very exciting throughout. You can't get much more excitement than having Joe Montana in a situation where he's got to drive the length of the field for the winning points. I mean, how many times can the guy do it? It's just great to watch.
Well, coming up shortly, a big night, a premiere night on CBS, starting with 60 Minutes.
And the lessons go on for Vinny Testaverde. Had a super opening day last week against the Packers, where he hit 81% of his passes. Today he's well under 500.
And Joe Montana really moved the ball primarily through the air. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers really snuffed out the 49ers ground game.
Outstanding job by the Bucs linebacking core and their front line. They had super penetration for the better part of the day. And Roger Craig won't be held to this few yards many times, but the Bucs deserve a lot of credit.
20-16 with 18 seconds to go. The Buccaneers used a timeout there. Montana uses up some more time.
But you know what he's doing is he's ruining his rushing average.
That's right. Another timeout called by the Buccaneers. And they are out of timeouts with 8 seconds remaining. College football next Saturday, and if you like Rocket Ismail and those great 2 kickoff return touchdowns against Michigan, you'll see him against Michigan State at 2:30 Eastern next Saturday.
And the Fighting Irish will be at home to show the rocket to all their home fans there. Michigan State had an outstanding opening day against Miami of Ohio, 49-0.
You're still with the U.S. Open until a week ago, but that's 49-0 or 49-0 is the same way no matter how you count.
There's not much love in football, is there?
Right. Andre Rison and Tony Mandarich no longer at Michigan State, but George Perlis thinks he can do well with the Spartans. That's next Saturday. And this will be the last play of the game with 8 seconds remaining. And you can say a close call for the 49ers. You could also say it's the mark of a champion to come back from behind late. Do it. And the clock didn't start.
Unbelievable. That's the home field advantage working again, but they can't stop it now.
Well, it wouldn't matter anyway because the clock would run out.
Well, but it's 4th down, so the clock would stop if Montana didn't eat up that 8 seconds with the change of possession, but the clock never started.
Well, this is kind of a awkward, just disjointed way of ending this one.
Yeah, an outstanding ball game. To have the finish like this is kind of disturbing. They said that only took 3 seconds.
There are officially 3 seconds remaining.
Now they're saying it took 5 seconds. So.
Some of the players are more upset than anyone else, than
Well, and the Bucks have one play left, so anything can happen. The clock stops at change of possession, so the Buccaneers can throw this ball, you know, down the field, see if they can get a pass interference or get in that end zone, but chances aren't very good.
3 seconds to go. For San Francisco here, only 3 men rushing. Testaverde, and the pass is picked off by Ronnie Lott, and that'll be his second interception as the game finally ends. The 49ers beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a big struggle for the world champs, 20-16. So for Dan Fouts, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from Tampa Stadium, where the 49ers beat the Bucks 20-16. You've been watching CBS coverage of the National Football League.